Welcome to Tuesday night. Now you may think wait a second, it's Wednesday or maybe it's Thursday where you live, but it's always Tuesday here. I am your host, MC Tunes. Tonight I will be debating a flat earther once again. This time it is Patrick Gunnels. So the story is some guy on, I won't mention his name, but some guy on Facebook posted something saying, I bet you won't debate Patrick Gunnels. I always find it funny. Why did this guy think that I should debate somebody else? Why didn't you challenge me to debate? But whatever, that's fine, I said. And he's like, I bet you won't. Like, I bet I will. I accept. Let your guy know. This is the first time that I can recall that the other guy, contacted me and said, let's do it. So that's what's going to happen. It will be happening here in just under half an hour. Is when it starts. He is live streaming on his channel on Rumble. So if you're interested in watching his live chat on Rumble, I don't think I'll be having it up myself, but you can go find it there. It's P Gunnels, I think is his name there. And he has 33,000 subscribers apparently. I don't know if somebody wants to go in and do a little forensic survey, when he starts, but I don't know. That'd be interesting. That'd be fun. So anyway, Icy Spin says Rumble, also known as YouTube jail. Yes, Rumble. I mean, there's a whole bunch of useless places. Not useless, but like there's these groups of people that tend to be of a certain vertical that go to different platforms because on that platform they have their vertical, right? For Flurfs it's Rockfin. For I don't know who's who and which flavor is which and where they go, but they all have their verticals, it seems. So Stringer News 1, did you say he's streaming on Wish? Yes, it's wish.com first for live streams. That's funny. So now, Dora sent a member super chat that said Thursday, my first members chat, but ZZZ time. So she's going to sleep. Good night, Dora. Thanks for stopping by. Amadeus Arkham says Axis here, ready to tune it up. Thanks again, MC Tune. You're welcome. Axis, glad to talk to you. Todd Ferguson, Flurfament. Supervisor says has a member super chat, says what is that body of water next to the pre-Columbian city of Tiwanaku? And Mark Sargent, evidence provided stopwatch when 7 days and counting. Actually, yeah, all right. So I think I'm guessing that the answer to the first question is Lake Titicaca. And the second is yes. I've seen. I don't know of any websites. Do you have a good website, Todd Ferguson? For those countdowns, that'd be great, or count ups. Don Pettiger, good luck. He is an unpleasant religiflurf. Well, I know. Stringer News 1 says to buy relics for the Temple of Tune. I'll show you this here. You remember if you're where is it? Here it is. Here is the Lemurian plug right there. It's actually a regular remote control plug with a relay in it. And I have one in the room with me behind me. If you hear a little bit of buzzing, it's the air conditioner, and this is the remote control for that air conditioner. It's the same thing, same brand, same everything. So if I get too cold, I can turn it off. So I hope you enjoyed the Mark Sargent video that went out today. The little tuck-in story song has been going through my head all day. I hope it has been going through yours all day as well. Dreamweaver. Skidmark McGee says, I want to join the Temple of Poon. Well, good luck. You're on your own there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to provide any advice on that topic for you. You might I don't know. You might look for some some anchor man from San Diego. That might be a good place to go to find a little bit of advice on that. 2A HD Cat says, wipe that body of water from your forehead. Yeah, Striker says, remote control for the AC. Talk about old school. Everything now in days is voice activated. Yes. Well, but ouch, nasty shaving cut. I don't know. I don't know. I had it sitting around. I cleaned out some stuff and it was there. So, all right. So let me read the topic. So he gave a topic. This is the topic for tonight. He provided, which is what is the verifiable evidence that the Earth is a sphere? So he's asking me, apparently, because he would not be the one presenting on that topic. I would be the only one presenting on that topic. So I have a few presentations ready to go on that topic. Oh, on my neck? Oh no, this is what 13-year-olds get. It just, it did what it did. Yeah, it happens, when you're 13. But is there a different one? I don't know. Yeah, that, it happens when you're 13 still. So, oh my gosh. Pistina the First says, I'm in San Diego. I got a poon guy. All right, well, hook up with Skidmark McGee. You two can connect and exchange numbers for that. So, Don Pettiger, nope, definitely not it. All right. Oh my goodness. We got Chris said, don't you have to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson, the lead high priest of the Temple of Tune, to join? Yes, you do. I think it's funny. It's so funny that they're like, he's the most famous scientist in the world. He's not actually an active scientist. Maybe he did. I don't actually know what he used to do, but he's not currently an active scientist to my knowledge. He's a communicator. So, he's not our guy. We don't have a guy, right? Flat earthers have a guy or a few guys, right? They're in tribes. They have the heads of their tribes. A few of the tribes get along, and a few of the tribes are warring with the other tribes, on and off. Sometimes heated, sometimes they just go in their separate corners and cry amongst themselves. But no, we don't have guys. So we have evidence. That's what we care about. Not any cult of personality, if you will. Vadim Slamovsky Retchenko says, well, a lot of people quit science to become communicators or administrators. A day got only 24 hours after all. True. One of the things that through my software writing career is I noticed the best software people tend to stop writing software because they get a promotion, and the promotion says, well, you can't get that promotion without managing the people that you used to be a programmer with. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. And so as I've had different opportunities at different places to stop programming and start managing, I'm like, I like to write software. So, well, Steve6464 says, I'd rather get my science stuff from Dr. Becky. She's easier on the eyes. Well, unless, like Mark Sargent, you've got that Dreamweaver song and you're looking up at the ceiling at the poster that your mom thumbtacked to it. So, Icy Spin is Mallory a Poe. I think so. Whatever she is, she's turned it into nothing but comedy at this point. So, Uh, Ben D says people get promoted to their level of incompetence. Yeah. Henzik says I have avoided becoming a manager. I just like writing code. You said that or me? I said that. So Chris says, don't the guys and gals of the Temple of Toon share the fines with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Yes, we every day we have a 10 a.m. meeting with him, and he gives us the marching orders. No, no. You know, it's funny. Some flat earthers are like, I got somebody leaked it to me. A whistleblower told me. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, he's in on it, and he told me about it. I'm like, oh, you got catfished, didn't you? And like a couple times I've gotten screenshots from people, and it's like it's on Facebook, right? Because that's definitely where to the nobody that you are, that's definitely where the somebody that's actually in on some sort of a giant 2,500 year conspiracy is going to go, is a nobody on Facebook, and sends me a screenshot of, yeah, we do this for whatever. And oh, not you, Gary, is in there. Why did you really mute me last night? The reason why I muted you last night, Gary, was every time I started giving you an answer to the question you asked, you did not allow me to finish my first sentence. That's not a conversation that adults have, Gary. You're a little child. Pythagoras says, does Patrick have new evidence? Well, no, of course not. So your challenge, dear ladies and gentlemen, if I can borrow something from Gin 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, your challenge is to determine who is his Papa Flurf. But apparently, though, I will be presenting all of the evidence. We'll see how that goes. But as it sits, it seems that I will be presenting that. So Gary was nothing but rude. He doesn't deserve to be heard. Gary was just awful. There you go. There it is. Gary's angle of perspective field of view compression cannot be debunked. It's just beyond human understanding. Emerson Biggins says you are a pathetic loser, Gary. So, yeah, Eric Burns, is it a $10,000 challenge to find his Papa Flurf? No. Nope. I don't think it will be a challenge. How about that? Tesla Radio says we aren't globe believers. We are flat skeptics. That should be, you know what? That's a great way to go into a flat earth Discord server, right? I'm just a flat skeptic. You flat earthers have to convince me that the earth is flat. I tested your flatness and it doesn't work. So it's a good way to do it, because they never, their whole shtick is never presenting evidence, right? It's their thing. I mean, it's their, it's how they are. It's their cute thing that they don't have evidence for flat earth. GPS, Eric Compelding says GPS can only work on a spherical earth. True. Yeah. PJCnet, if Toon spoke about it, he's talking about flat earth. Or are you talking climate? Yeah, climate change is a mess. I don't know. I'm not touching that mess. So, Todd Ferguson says, not you, Gary's live stylings were more boring than his usual copy pasta. Yeah. Gunnels was on a podcast with Oakley, and to Gunnels' credit, it didn't go well. Well, surprise. Who's this podcast with Oakley? Doesn't ring a bell. But Icy Spin, are you thinking your 10K challenge will change yearly on a regular basis? If so, have you brainstormed for next year? I don't think it will be changing on a regular basis. It will be adding. There will just be more and more and more. So I'm currently working on, slowly, the $10,000 Cold Moonlight Challenge. I have, as far as other things I'm willing to put $10,000 up against, flight flight path. So, show me the flight path for, you know, several different routes that are commonly flown, and we'll just test them against actual reality, people on planes and how long it takes. I don't know. I suppose the zoom the sun back in, or any of that. Predict the sun's sunrise angle, sunset angle, and time for any position on the Earth. Right. The math for that for the globe exists, and it's just a simple formula. You put in the latitude, longitude, the date, and you can get the angle of sunrise, sunset for the globe. But there's nothing for flat Earth. So, all right. Anyway, I am going to very shortly here be jumping onto the live stream with him. So it's 1:45. So I'm going to begin that right now. So you'll get to see a little of the behind the scenes as I do this setup here with him. So we'll see, make sure that everything works. Get the camera selected. No camera working. This is StreamYard. I've used StreamYard. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, your browser can't access your devices. Close any application that might be using your camera mic. Oh, no. Then refresh that page. If that doesn't work, try restarting your browser or computer. Let me try again. Darn, I've not had this problem before, but I've usually not done... Oh, there it is. I got it. All I had to do was refresh the page. Weird. Camera, audio. Let's see, I want... The microphone should be 2. There it is. The speaker should work. There, just fine. Hopefully that works. All right. I'm entering the studio, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that on the screen right now, so you can watch the behind the scenes as it goes. There it is. But when I'm actually talking over, I won't have this up, but you can see right there. There it is. Hello. You see 2 of me. All right, there we go. And yeah, that's his stuff he sells. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, we're not live. I just wanted to say hi.
Just so you know, I am live. So.
You are?
Yes, so you can say hi, but I just want to warn you so you don't.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure I know how to say your name. It's not McToon, it's MC Toon, right?
Yeah, you can call me Mike.
Okay, Mike works for me too. You can call me Patrick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the live button right at 8. There will be like maybe a 3-minute song that I play.
Okay.
At the beginning. It'll just be a regular pop culture song with my Miracle Cream in the background, and then we will start. You have an hour?
I have 2 or 3, whatever.
Okay, yeah. I have a hard stop at 90 minutes because I have another show after that.
Okay.
And we will just get started. Thank you for coming on Reading Epic Threads, and I will see you in about 14 minutes.
All right, sounds good. There it is. He's got his angel paste Miracle Cream. It's no miracles shall be involved in that. All right, I'm adding a little. Let's see. We've got StreamYard. StreamYard there. Display capture. So I'm new stuff in OBS. The update's pretty good. Liking it. All right. Angel paste, yeah. I don't know what that angel paste is. Made from real angels. All right. Where is... There it is. Okay. I need to get it set up correctly so that it works. There it is. Make that a little bigger. So, okay. And there, oh, that's not right. let me move that out of the way. And then we'll just have his angel paste there while we're chatting for a minute here. There you go. Meet angel paste. Oh, I can't get it right. It's all mirrored. All right. Siggy Sigwald said is just gifted 50 memberships, dude. You are a legend. Okay. So let me see here. We got CV McCullough says Flat Earth has only denial of science. Any evidence would cause them to be held to the same standard. Then they will have to argue a position. Yes, they can't argue a position. They know. And that's why, and I think that's why the flat earthers that have staked a position in the early days on the shape, like the map, right? So you've got Dubé and Sargent and Dearth have all specifically staked a claim on the map. And they've been around enough to know that the map doesn't work. But then you've got like these second tier that are a little dumber, like Terry R. Eicher. He's too dumb to realize that the map doesn't work, and he still sticks with the map works. And so everybody that thinks the map an AE map works is just the dumber level of flurf, because they can't see that it doesn't work. So then you've got these others that are like, well, they make up some other stupid map that doesn't work at all, like PJC Net's Goofy Friends Awake Souls and Limitless, or they just say we don't need a map. Of course you need a map. Long range navigation works. Saying you don't need a map does not work. People get around. Somehow people get around. Amazing. Tim Davidson says, to prove I am Pooh, Lord Illuminous Pooh, something only he'd know. All your jokes are bad. See, I am him. Oh, that hurts. Oh, it hurts. Thiggy says, where are the flare Sims 2? It's coming. He's coming. We just said hi. So at 7:53 right now, and so at 8 o'clock, then we're in. So CV McCullough says, if corn oil comes from corn and vegetable oil comes from vegetables, where does baby oil come from? That's so bad. So bad. What are you thinking about doing that? Okay, all right, I gotta fix this. It's just, I mean, it's funny too, but it's bad. Definitely bad. Oh dear. Okay. Hold on. I got a few chats that just came in. So once I start talking with him, I might not be able to work him in as much. But when we're done, he's got a hard stop at 90 minutes. When I'm done with that, I'll come back. We'll talk, and we'll see. Maybe a couple people might be wanting to come in. Eric Burns, right now, you let me know. Send me a message on Discord if you're available. I'd love to bring you in. So, Aggressa says no demons were hurt in the making of angel paste, but only one profits from it. Oh my gosh. Eddie Reese is 2 years and still no flat earth evidence. Maybe tonight. Maybe one of them tonight will have it. They'll have measurements of flatness. Icy Spin says, if the angel paste talk gets boring, maybe you guys can talk quantum toenails. Yeah, quantum toenails, definitely. I still have... So on my desk, right here. Hold on, let me see. On my desk right here, I had the magic thing that's supposed to, you put your toenails or fingernails in, and I knocked it and it fell on the floor. And I'm like, I just can't be bothered to pick it up. It's so dumb. Okay. CV McCullough says it was in line with angel paste. My bad. Stryker says, what type of brain injury are we going to get tonight? You shall find out. You let me know. And Tim Davidson says, angel paste Fast acting, stick your angels everywhere. Crashes said, did you miss my super chat? Hold on. Oh, there it is. Says, is he a Poe using Flat Earth to promote his miracle cream? I do not think so. I've looked at his channel. I've looked at his live stream. I've looked at stuff. I think Flat Earth is something he added on to his regular woo. So it's a bit of a side woo to his regular woo. And probably, my guess is a lot of his audience is like, what the heck are you talking about, dude? So make sure I didn't miss anything, because I missed crashes. Oh, there it is. Chris said, Toon, if you presented multiple sources for the War of 1812, how would you verify these sources were actually printed around that time? And yeah, that's a fantastic question about, historical accuracy, and how do we know that the things that we know about history are true, right? Did Abraham Lincoln actually exist? Is a photograph of Abraham Lincoln enough to prove that he existed, or establish whatever you want to use for that word? No, you need multiple lines of evidence, of course. So you would want ideally and more varied forms of evidence. This isn't my field for historical, whatever the term is. I've heard people talk about it, read about it a little bit, but I can't speak at length about it. But yeah, Chris, I think you're Lael, right? Lael, you definitely, yeah. Newspaper articles, yes. You are these newspapers old, right? The age of the newspapers can help. Physical evidence about the events that happened in the War of 1812. Can we verify that those physical things happened? As far as you go farther back in time, though, these things are more difficult to establish, right? Something from 200, 300 years ago in the United States, well, there's some of that around. 1,000 years ago in Europe, dude, people have been there. People have been stomping around there for a long time. So, all right, I'll leave it with that. We got CV McCullers says, Angel Paste, make your nether regions feel heavenly. Melodic Lyrics, no, he's a show, not a no-show. We are just under a minute and a half until it starts. We've connected. I am on his StreamYard stream at the moment. So I will be, here you go, I'll put that up in preparation for him. So preparation. Speaking of preparation, if Preparation H is not solving all of your problems, try some Angel Paste. Available on angelpaste.com. No angels were harmed in the making of Angel Paste. Oh my gosh. It's Icy Smith. Is it just me, or is paste the wrong word for his target market? No eating the Angel Paste. Now, if he mentions that it's made from organic food grade stuff, it's still not made to be eaten. Just because it says paste. Tim Davidson, how would you make angel paste? I mean, their bones would have to be hollow like a bird, unless they're biblically accurate angels, then maybe. Yeah. I don't know. What's the movie Prophecy with the cowbell guy? You know, the cowbell guy. I got a fever and the only medicine is more cowbell. That guy was in that movie, I think, called Prophecy. You know who I'm talking about. Not Dogma. It wasn't Dogma. With Jay and Silent Bob. Christopher Walken. Thank you, Christopher Walken. And so what was the name of the movie where it was angels and demons like fighting? And it's not Angels and Demons by, what's his name? So, all right. I'm forgetting what that was. But, all right. So, Patrick Gunnels. is coming up soon, and we're over the start time. So, oh, the broadcast is live. It just said on there. There it is. So he's got some music. I don't know if it's gonna have a copyright issue on YouTube, so I muted it for now. Prophecy. It's not angels. It's not Dogma. Christopher Walken wasn't in Dogma, was he? I don't think so. It was Prophecy. Yeah. Yeah. This does sound like the original version. So. Yeah, it is Pat Benatar. I'm listening to. I'm not a Pat Benatar fan, so thank you for that. Does Angel Pace come from the south end of a northbound angel? Wonders Steve6464. And Stephen McCullough says Angel Pace Miracle Cream. This product is confused. Oh my gosh. What's the opposite of Christopher Reeves? Christopher Walken. Gosh. Dogma was George Carlin. Oh jeez. It's the guitar solo for that song. It's like sloppy. I don't know. Maybe you like it, and I'm just offended you, but I don't care. I don't like that. Your pal Al prefers fairy lotion. You can have a whole line, right? Pixie dust isn't enough. Yeah, pixie dust, fairy lotion. You got everything. Okay. Barb's Beat. Do you like death metal? I do. I like more speed metal. I like glam. I like melodic, especially progressive metal. So like Dream Theater, Queensryche, Circa, Mindcrime. Yeah, that's good stuff. Queensryche is touring. I'm like, oh, what are they gonna play? I just want to hear Mindcrime, and then one song from Empire. That's it. That's all I need. So, oh, he's still going. Tim Davidson says the reason Pooh and I are so weird is because I was born 8 miles from where Christopher Reeves broke his neck. So I am the way I am because of kryptonite poisoning. That's totally legit. That makes sense. Okay, so now you're asking me which death metal. So I don't like the band Death. Between the Buried and Me, I can't say I've listened to enough to even name a song. So, okay.
Houston, Texas, this August 9th, 2023 at 8:03 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And today's episode is not me reading epic threads and selling lotion, though you should realize that this is brought to you by Angel Paste, invented by my sister Barbara, made at her home in Spring, Texas, consisting of only food-grade plant oils, the cap, the bottle,
not to be
the label,
eaten.
everything in it sourced out of the United States of America.
I'm still muted.
And
so
your skin will drink it up. So go to www.angelpaste.com.
I cannot recommend this myself. So
I have MC Toon joining me, and it's really nice of Mike to come on the show. We're going to be talking about the heliocentric model and why we believe the things that we believe. And I have a lot of confidence that we're going to have a really fun discussion. So without further ado, I am going to bring into Reading Epic Threads, Mike Toon. Hey, Mike, how are you, sir?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just living the dream, my friend. It's a lot of fun doing what I do. I get to talk about whatever I want to talk about on my show, and people show up and tell me I'm great or call me an idiot. One of the two. It happens all the time. And so I just really think it's cool to be able to have my very first flat Earth versus globe Earth debate. I've never done that before. I will tell you, I've been a flat earther since 2019, and it's been very interesting meeting all the flat earthers and learning about what different people believe about the world we live in, and I haven't really ventured into the whole debating with globe earthers thing. So I think this could be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, good. Well, my side has been brought to you by Tab.
I didn't even know Tab still existed.
NASA sends it to me.
Oh, from all the way from space?
Yep. Yeah, it's got special IQ protecting powers. So.
Okay. So one of the things I was kind of hoping that we might be able to do during the course of this debate, and if it's not your style, I completely understand. I was kind of hoping that we might stay away from the calling each other stupid thing. And if you don't hold to that, that's fine. I won't do that. And if you do, I will just ignore it, because that's what I've been told is the right thing to do.
If you've watched,
my mother would approve.
If you've watched any of my my live streams, you'll find that that's not what I generally do. So,
okay, all right. I guess maybe I just read the whole IQ protecting powers wrong. So let me just ask you a question. Real quick. You're a globe Earth debater, so you've done quite a few of these debates. You've done it for how long now, and what's that been like?
It's been I think about 4 years. I've been doing weekly debates. So it's
weekly debates.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun hobby. The people I work with laugh at me. They're like, I can't believe you do that. But every once in a while they pop into chat. I have a few, I don't tell people generally, but a few people that I know in real life that have come in and out, and they're like, it's kind of fun to watch sometimes.
Awesome. So my story is it's one of trying to figure out the quest for knowledge in general. So my academic background is in mathematics, and my professional background is in software. Starting around 2017, I started noticing that the powers that be provide us with information that's not altogether reliable. And so I made a commitment to myself that I would only believe something if I could verify it for myself down to its foundations. And when I began with that method of acquiring knowledge, I found that knowledge became quite a bit more difficult. And it ended with me disproving to myself what we call our heliocentric belief system, that we live on a ball that is surrounded by a vacuum that we call space, that ball spins at a speed of approximately 15 degrees per hour, and that we are rocketing through a solar system at enormous speed, that the sun is extremely distant. And I said to myself, I can't find any verifiable evidence for any of this. So I'm just going to throw it out to you, and maybe you can be the one that shows me the evidence for this. I would start by saying, do you have any evidence that the Earth is spinning?
Well, and of course, but you prepped this by giving me the topic of the talk, right? So I kind of prepared for that.
The heliocentric model.
The subject will be, what is the verifiable evidence that the Earth is a sphere? That was the first email that you sent me.
Fair enough. So you don't feel comfortable with the rest of the heliocentric model?
Oh no, I am, but I had prepared some things. Okay. Based on your requested topic.
Fair enough. I apologize for that. Do you think maybe if there's time we could talk about the other aspects of the heliocentric model?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So let me give you the question that you were hoping for. Do you have any evidence that we live on a sphere?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
All right, can I share my screen here?
Sure, go for it.
Uh-oh. I might have to restart Chrome to get it to accept this. For some reason, StreamYard is barking at me. Okay. Yeah. All right, I have to quit and relaunch Chrome, so give me a second here.
You got it. No problem at all. In the meantime, I will say hello to my friend.
That's too bad. I've done it before with StreamYard, and for some reason it's saying it needs to relaunch Chrome. Oh, it comes up with no tabs. What? Stupid Chrome, what are you doing to me? Let's see. Restore all tabs. I just have to restore all my tabs. All my tabs are being restored. And there we go. All right. And so many tabs. All right. There we go. Got to pop that. I got to update everything all of a sudden. So give me a second here.
Show today. And Mike is obviously a person who spent a lot of time talking about this subject. All right. So anyway, one of the things that we're probably going to end up talking. Oh, there's Mike right now. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Okay.
Right.
How you doing?
Good. I got it updated, but I have a few things to patch here to make sure it works.
Well, maybe you could kind of talk a little bit about why you say that there is a sphere beneath our feet.
Well, for reference, a lot of the things that I talk about, I personally tested myself. So, for example, when I reference the radius of the Earth, it's something that I've tested myself. I've measured myself. So, it's not assumed or presumed or guessed. The values that I got for the radius of the Earth were significantly close to the values that people have said for quite a long time. So,
could you tell us how you measured that?
I did with by measuring. I did the historical method that Eratosthenes used.
Eratosthenes.
I did it myself with the first time was on December 21st of 2019 with two other people. So you may have heard that mathematically a single observation can determine. It can't determine the shape of the Earth, but with multiple, you can determine the shape of the Earth. So with just a single, you can measure the radius if you know the shape of the Earth. So
I bet you there's a video that explains Eratosthenes's what Eratosthenes is claimed to have done back in Alexandria.
Yep.
And Syene.
There are.
So maybe I should. Do you have a video that explains that? Maybe we could start off by making sure everybody knows.
No, I don't have. I don't have that
Eratosthenes video.
Ready.
I'll do the one that you know. I'll do the one that does that. You know, takes the globe side. We'll make this. All right. So this video right here is how long? Oh, never mind. Hang on. Just find one. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Is this? All right. How ancient Greek mathematician calculated the Earth's circumference. So what I can do is I can share that, and then everybody can learn about the Eratosthenes claim. And this is from Insider Business. It's a pretty mainstream source. Does that sound cool?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So everybody will understand what you're talking about when you talk about Eratosthenes.
In the mid-20th century, we began launching satellites into space that would help us determine the exact circumference of the Earth, 40,030 kilometers. But over 2,000 years earlier in ancient Greece, a man arrived at nearly that exact same figure by putting a stick in the ground. That man was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and the head of the Library of Alexandria. Eratosthenes had heard that in Syene, a city to the south of Alexandria, no vertical shadows were cast at noon on the summer solstice. The sun was directly overhead. He wondered if this were also true in Alexandria, so on June 21st, he planted a stick vertically in the ground and waited to see if a shadow would be cast at noon. It turns out there was one, and it measured about 7 degrees. Now, if the sun's rays are coming in at the same angle at the same time of day, and a stick in Alexandria is casting a shadow while a stick in Syene is not, it must mean that the Earth's surface is curved. And Eratosthenes probably already knew that. The idea of a spherical Earth was floated by Pythagoras around 500 BC and validated by Aristotle a couple centuries later. If the Earth really was a sphere, Eratosthenes could use his observations to estimate the circumference of the entire planet. Since the difference in shadow length is 7 degrees between Alexandria and Syene, That means the two cities are 7 degrees apart on Earth's 360-degree surface. Eratosthenes hired a man to pace the distance between the two cities and learned they were 5,000 stadia apart, which is about 800 kilometers. He could then use simple proportions to find the Earth's circumference. 7.2 degrees is 1/50th of 360 degrees, so 800 kilometers times 50 equals 40,000 kilometers. And just like that, a man 2,200 years ago found the circumference of the entire planet with just a stick and his brain.
Okay, let's start with a question based upon what is claimed of Eratosthenes. What are the assumptions that Eratosthenes made before he did his angle measurements?
So, Patrick, I wasn't. I just said it was the same style. I'm not referencing Eratosthenes. I'm referencing myself, my measurement.
Can you do know what the assumption that Eratosthenes?
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
And what was that assumption?
Based on Pythagoras, he and others, he assumed that the Earth was a sphere.
Do you see how that's a problem for proving that the Earth is spherical?
I didn't claim that Eratosthenes proved that the Earth was spherical.
All right.
Do you see that that's a problem, Patrick, that you're trying to put that on me when I'm not saying that?
Okay. You measured the radius of the Earth yourself.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
correct?
Yes.
And you did it using the Eratosthenes method, yes?
Yep.
Okay. How is that not begging the question that you live on a sphere?
Because I didn't get to presenting how I did it yet, Patrick.
Okay.
You played a video, completely great, super. Has nothing to do with my claim.
Okay. Mike, you started by saying you did it in the Eratosthenes fashion. I just wanted to make sure the audience knew exactly what you were referring to.
Yeah. So then you were jumping off of that and putting it on me as if I was claiming that as proof, Patrick. Did I claim that as proof?
No. You
Good. So, Patrick, don't put those things on me, Patrick.
Okay, well,
got it.
Why don't we go ahead? You found the radius of the Earth using that Eratosthenes method.
Yes.
That assumes you live on a sphere.
No.
So, okay, so your method doesn't assume you live on a
My
sphere.
method tested if we lived on a sphere or tested if the Earth was flat. It was an experiment.
Experiment. What was the observed phenomenon that you were measuring?
I'm sorry. I'm not in middle school anymore.
Okay, so you don't use the scientific method?
I do use the scientific method, but that is the dogmatic version. I'm not in middle school, so I'm not a dogmatic follower of some rules of arbitrary, like they're given down from on high. No, sorry, that it isn't. Here's the cookie cutter approach to it. If you want to know how scientists do their work, you might read something by Thomas Kuhn. You might read Karl Popper. I highly recommend reading Understanding Science for free on Berkeley. Berkeley's website has a really good thing on that. And they specifically cite that the cookie cutter approach that you're trying to go through is too simple. That's not how science is done.
All
so
right.
the essence of science.
Okay. Tell me about your experiment.
So I'll tell you, because you're confused about the essence of science. The essence of science is to test something that's falsifiable. That's the essence. That's right at the core of it, right? So you have a hypothesis. You compute the consequences of that hypothesis, and then you compare to observations or compare to reality. That's it. So it's not like, oh, let's start at the top and see if we can go through. Okay, so that's not what I did. So the natural observed phenomena isn't part of what I did. All right, so I'm testing, is the Earth flat? And testing, is the Earth spherical? And I did that by making a hypothesis about the Earth being flat. And so if the Earth is flat, here's the hypothesis, then when we measure the angle to the sun from different locations and triangulate the elevation of the sun, then we must get a similar elevation of the sun. That's the hypothesis for flat Earth. And so then 3 of us on the same day measured the elevation of the sun, hypothesizing that the Earth is flat and solving those triangles. Then, same day, same measurements, same thing, we hypothesize if the Earth is a sphere and the sun is very far away, then there's certain geometric conclusions that we can draw from that. And there we get into the specific geometry that Eratosthenes used, that we can use to get the radius of the Earth, or circumference if you prefer, but we were getting the radius of the Earth. And then given the radius of the Earth for different locations, we can see if they all match. And then they must match if the Earth is a sphere. So there's the two hypotheses. If the Earth is flat, then the sun must measure the same elevation. If the Earth is a sphere, then the radius of the Earth must measure the same radius. So that's the experiment.
So the assertion at the beginning, the claim being made, is that if the Earth is flat, then the sun must measure at the same altitude from all different directions?
That's the hypothesis, yeah.
And how did you but that's an if-then statement.
Yeah, that's the most basic hypothesis is an if-then statement.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand this. And I'm genuinely not trying to straw man you here. I want to understand what you're saying. We have to make this very, very clear. If the Earth is flat, then the elevation of the sun will measure equal from all different locations. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that so?
Well, because flat earthers have said that the sun is small and local. So I'm testing their claims. Now, if you don't make that claim about flat Earth, if you don't think that the sun is small and local, then I would be certainly, this would not be a hypothesis that applies to your position on the shape of the Earth.
My position is that the Earth is not a sphere.
Okay. So what is your position on the sun's elevation above flat Earth?
I don't have any way of determining the sun's elevation.
Oh, you could just triangulate. You said you're good at math. Can't you triangulate? Can you solve a triangle, Patrick?
You have to be able to measure the distance to it to triangulate it.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
How are you gonna not?
There's a whole bunch of different variables that could make it. Okay, now just
Go ahead.
No. You explain exactly how you figured out the elevation, the height of the sun.
Okay.
With your so-called experiment. Please.
Because all right, I'm in Minneapolis, 45 degrees north latitude. On December 25th, the sun goes over what portion of the Earth? What line? The Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay.
Right? Do you agree with that?
I don't even know. It doesn't matter. My question
you don't
to you
know?
is...
Hold on. You don't know? How old are you that you don't know that the sun goes over the Tropic of Capricorn on December 25th to December 21st?
Well,
this is basic information, Patrick.
Okay, hang on a second. I just asked you a very simple question. You don't have to get triggered. Why is it that the sun has to be measured from the same altitude if the Earth is flat?
How many different suns are there, Patrick?
Why does it have to be the same elevation?
Because if there's one sun, then that one sun can only occupy one position.
No, it could be moving.
It certainly is moving. In relation to the surface of the Earth, there's no question that the sun is moving.
You said it has to be in the same position. Did you not?
The same elevation.
The same elevation.
Yes.
Why? Why is that necessary for a flat Earth?
Because a object can occupy one position.
You just act just completely incredulous every time a flat earther asks
Patrick,
a question.
this is basic stuff.
This is basic.
It's not difficult to figure out that the sun must be in only one location at a time.
Okay, one location.
This isn't confusing. People understand that then an object can only occupy one place.
An object can only occupy one place at one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not. I don't think you're going to suggest that's not the case.
I don't accept your claim. Listen, I've asked you multiple times why that must be so, and you just sit there laughing.
The reason why it must be so, Patrick, is because an object can only occupy one place. Okay. The sun cannot be in multiple places at the same time.
No, it cannot. I agree.
Excellent. So then, if we know when I'm in Minneapolis at 45 degrees north latitude, and at the middle of the day when the sun's at its highest point, the sun is at zenith, right? That means the sun is due south of me on the Tropic of Capricorn at that moment.
Okay.
Now, how far am I across the surface of flat Earth from the position directly underneath the sun?
I'm not going to sit here and let you just sit here quizzing me about various things. You tell me how on earth that shows that the surface of the Earth is spherical. All
right. No, I didn't do that yet. We're still hypothesizing if the Earth is flat. Right. So the way that we know the distance is because Celestial navigation has used this very simple number for centuries. 60 nautical miles per degree latitude. So I'm at 45 degrees north latitude, and the sun is at 23.4 degrees south latitude. I am 45 plus 23.4 degrees away from the sun. Multiply that by 60 nautical miles, and that's how far I am away from the GP of the sun. The GP would be the point on the Earth directly below the sun.
Okay. So the distance to the sun, you mean the distance to the GP of the sun, not the distance to the sun itself.
Yeah, but that gives us one P. It's a triangle. You need three things to solve a triangle, unless it's a special case, right? So we have that distance, and I measured the angle to it, and then the other angle is 90 degrees. So we have angle, side, angle. So if you have angle, side, angle, can you solve a triangle?
Yes.
All right.
Angle, side, angle, side, angle.
Yep.
Yeah, you can.
Yep. So doing that from Minneapolis at 45 degrees north latitude, I'm at 7,619 kilometers. This is science, so we do it in kilometers. And the sun elevation over flat Earth, assuming flat Earth, in this hypothesizing flat Earth, 3,162 kilometers.
Okay.
Now, my friend Neriel was in the same day, measured the same thing from Israel. He's at 31.35 degrees. He is 6,099 kilometers from the Tropic of Capricorn. The angle to the sun for him, so the angle to the sun for me was 22.5. Angle for him was 36.2. Solving that triangle, he gets 4,468 kilometers elevation for the sun.
Don't you have a diagram of this that you wanted to show? That would probably really help my audience see what you're showing.
Yeah, I can. Hold on.
I just thought you wanted to share your screen, Mike.
No, I had something else, and you got on this. We got on this. This isn't the thing that I had planned, but there. I mean, right there. There's a triangle, right? So we got Minnesota, and we've got the distance of 761. Hold on. 7619.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and put that triangle back up there again?
Yeah, give me a second.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the right angle? It's the right angle is one, and then you have the hypotenuse there. What is at the top of the vertical leg of that triangle? What's that demarcation point? So that's the sun. Okay, that's the sun. Great. And then at the right angle itself, where is that?
That's at the Tropic of Capricorn.
Okay. So when you say the sun, do you mean the geographic the point on the Earth where the sun is directly over, or do you mean the sun itself?
Is the GP right here? GP of the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. This is at local solar noon in Minnesota.
Okay, and then
so there's Minnesota,
and they're there. So you're taking an angle measurement, and that line is straight.
This line here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
on flat Earth, this is straight.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And of course, this is straight. So.
Okay. Well, any right triangle has to have all three sides being flat. They have to be straight.
Yeah. Yeah. So correct. This is the flat Earth hypothesis.
Okay.
Right. So when we solve this triangle, right? I'm not going to grill you on doing the trigonometry right now. Right. I already did it. It's 3163. All right. All in kilometers there. So that's you solve the triangle. Then you could solve that. You can get the straight line distance to the sun too. You can solve all the angles in the triangle then. So there you go. That's the flat Earth hypothesis based on the real world measurements in Minnesota.
I'm still not seeing a measure of any curvature of the Earth.
We're not there yet.
Okay, please keep going.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, then I'll do the same triangle for Israel. He's got 36.2, and he's got a distance of 6099. And the elevation of the sun then comes to 4468. All right, so there we go. There is the real world measurement in Israel, right? And the real world measurement in Minnesota on the same day. So the problem is, though, in Minnesota, I get 3,163 kilometers elevation of the sun. And in Israel, we get 4,468 kilometers for the elevation of the sun. Now, in the couple hours between when he measured it and when I measured it, did the sun change elevation? Well, it's not going to work out because we know that at 45 degrees north latitude due north of Israel, this is actually the same angle there as well on that day. So it's still 22.5. So that falsifies flat Earth right there. So we hypothesize is the Earth flat. We test that, and we conclude the Earth is not flat because the sun must be in different locations simultaneously based on the observer in order for the Earth to be flat. Unless there is some other physics that somebody has ever proposed that I've never seen, then maybe that is. And I'd be willing to test the hypothesis for these other physics claims.
Okay, so you claim that you have a spherical Earth based upon two triangles that you computed hypothetical heights for the sun.
Putting words in my mouth again there, Patrick. I claimed that this was a test of flat Earth, and that this falsified falsified flat Earth. Second part is the Eratosthenes style.
Okay, and then you found your radius of the Earth using the Eratosthenes method, which I showed the video of, right?
Yeah, I'll review the hypothesis. If the Earth is a sphere with an unknown radius, it's a sphere with a very distant sun, then when you do an Eratosthenes type measurement, all observers must get the same radius of the Earth or circumference of the Earth within a margin of error.
So I did the math on a sphere of radius 3,959 statute miles. And using high school trig, simple planar geometry, using a cross-section of the Earth, it shows that if the Earth is a sphere of that radius, that any distance to horizon has to be about 1.225 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Or
why are you changing the topic? Why are you changing the topic? You totally just ditched the topic that you specifically asked me to present evidence on. I'm halfway through it, and you're like, let's go off into another direction.
I'm not going to.
Why did you do that, Patrick?
I'm not going to let you lecture for 45 minutes without.
You asked me, Patrick. You asked me to give you this information, and I'm generously giving it to you. Patrick, FE stands for not flat Earth, but free education, Patrick. You are receiving free education. Be grateful, man.
Okay. Anyway, it's you're a shocking guy. So it's
let me get some tune shine here. I'll calm down.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend. So I'll ask the question again. Yeah, just laugh it up.
Sorry.
Get it out there. All right. So anyway, and then the curvature measured, which I did all the trig for, the curvature measured would have a drop over a distance of n miles of 8 inches times the square of the number of miles out to a certain length. And then you just expand the Taylor series a little bit further.
Oh, what's the next term in the Taylor series?
I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head. That's why we did the Taylor series in the first place. I had an entire video.
Are you sure it's a Taylor series?
And then I generated the Taylor series using an applet that I got off of. I have the Taylor series. I have a 25-minute video going through it step by step.
Okay.
The point is, it's 8 inches per mile squared. Now, that is not demonstrated by physical observation.
Oh, well, I would be glad to show that to you. Give me a second here. I'll pull it up, and then I'll share my screen. Hopefully, I can share my screen now. So I'm going to do this. Can you do this while I'm pulling this up? What would be the linear drop in feet over 0.48 miles?
A half mile?
Yeah.
What
would be the linear drop in feet?
0.48 miles. I want to use the trig function if you're
using
something
small. No, that's actually that small. The approximation is perfectly fine.
Fine.
No
0.25 times 0.25, which is the square of 0.48 roughly. So just call it 0.5 squared. It's 0.25 times 8, so 2 inches. But it's it's not big enough to matter for any measurements.
Well, if an instrument is accurate enough to measure that, then it certainly can. But let's start with that, okay?
No, I'm not going to start with that. That's a ridiculous statistic to start at. How about this? How about the expected curvature over 10 miles?
Well, you asked me. The topic is what evidence do we have, and so I have prepared. This is what I've prepared. I have 4 points that I prepared. This is number 3, and you went to asking about the specific. You want 8 inches per mile squared drop over.
You can find the exact height of the sun.
I'm happy, Patrick, to give you a measurement of linear drop from a horizontal tangent. That's what it is. Right?
We already have a way to compute it.
And I'm ready to, we do have a way to compute it. And you already gave me the number. Okay?
So over 10 miles.
No, 0.5 miles. This is the first measure. I have a real measurement.
2 inches.
I have a real measurement that has been done that I can cite by somebody that can do the precision and actually do the standard deviation, the mean of the standard deviation, all of the appropriate measurements and the verification that his measurements are precise. I have that, right?
I'm not okay.
So I'm going to share my screen so that you can
share your screen, but really seriously stop filibustering. We're going to get the gist, and then we're going to talk about the fact that it must be such over all such distances, and then we're going to talk about lengthy distance, which has been demonstrated over and over again. And then go ahead, share your screen.
All right, I'm working on here. Just give me a second. All right, so there is. Let me see here. There we have. This is by Jesse Kozlowski, who's a surveyor. He's out on the East Coast, and so here is a view through his theodolite across the lake. And so we're going to do the setup so that this just is a sample of what he's looking at through the theodolite. You got the crosshairs there. A little hard to see in that picture, but you can find these on my website if you want. Just mctoon.net and then search for Jesse. So here's the place where he was at. This is across a short portion of the lake. He did 2 of these, so we'll get into the second one. So he's using water as the measurement device. As if the earth is flat, then water must be flat. If the earth is curved, then water must be curved. So we can form a hypothesis from that. Anyway, he's measuring a vertical elevation right off the water, and he put this target. This is a target here that you're looking at right above the water, and he measured the height of it based on he's got this level that he used right there. You see that level? So use that level to transfer the elevation of the water to the target. Measured the target, went to the other side, measured his theodolite. Here's his theodolite. He's got the theodolite at the same elevation above the water as the target. And this is the target we're looking at right here. He's leveled them all. There's the theodolite. He's ready to go. There's the theodolite. He looks right through it. And then we've got a few more pictures. All right, let me get to the good stuff is coming here. Here it is. This is... Did that? Yep. All right. So there it is. This is the actual... the worksheet that he did then. This is the measurements that he did, and then he's put them into this worksheet here. So he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different measurements. And you see there miles 0.48, it's 0.48 miles. And then the curve drop from horizontal plane at standpoint, 0.15 feet. Right? So
roughly 2 inches.
Yeah, there it is. So there it is. Like I said, a measurement of a horizontal drop from a tangent.
All right. So you have a surveyor who found a drop.
Okay. But I'll give you the second one here. I'll go past it all.
I am going to start speaking now.
I'm almost done. Hold on. I'm almost done, buddy. He did it again because you didn't like the short one. So here, I'll give you the long one. I mean, I could have waited for you to say you wanted it longer and then like sprung it on you. But I'm not going to do that. Here it is. This is the same worksheet. 1.38 miles, curve drop 1.28 feet. You do the Pythagorean theorem, you're going to find it's the correct drop from horizontal tangent. Okay, there you go.
Okay. from that mathematics, 8 inches times the square of the distance in miles, it follows that over a longer distance, that the distance to any horizon geometrically can be no more than 1.225 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. This is agreed by.
Okay, but you're not going to address the evidence that I just gave you?
No, it's a particular instance. This is a universal property of spheres. It has to measure that way always.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, then it falsifies the notion that we're on a sphere of claimed radius.
Well, I gave you 2 specific measurements that were very precise. Now, just for reference, measurements have units. Measurements have numbers. And good measurements have an error of a margin of error analysis like this one does.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'd like you to at least acknowledge what I've said. So if you find me instances where so-called measured drop is in 2 inches, which in my opinion is too small to be statistically significant.
Well, you're the math guy, right? So I mean, you could actually look at the analysis that he did there to see if he is imprecise or not.
It doesn't matter. It's 2 specific measurements. It has to be true for all measurements.
Okay.
Because
do you have quality measurements like I have over distances that are larger?
Yes, I do. I mean,
with units and units and numbers and a margin of error analysis?
I know that anything that is 100 miles away can't be viewed.
Okay, it sounds like a no. It sounds like you don't have units, numbers, and a margin of error analysis.
Well, I mean, we've got the black swan. I've got that.
The black swan, the black swan that the sun could never set if the Earth were flat. No. That black swan. I mean, that's a black swan. I mean, that's 8 billion people see the sunset every day. Falsifies flat Earth.
Chatter through everything I say. This
All
is
right,
very difficult. I'd really appreciate it if you'd let me talk for just a little bit. You know?
All right, good. Go ahead.
Thanks. So now I'm going to have to say this again, unfortunately, but if the Earth is a sphere of radius 3,959 English statute miles, then all distances to horizon can be no more than 1.225 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. These are 2 oil platforms. These oil platforms are at distances of 6.21 miles and 9.41 miles. And this camera is at a height of 1 foot of elevation. Well, 1 foot, well, the square root of 1 foot is 1 times 1.225. These oil derricks are 9 miles and 6 miles. And if you'll look, the horizon is even further. That is impossible on the surface of a sphere of stated radius. And we have countless such examples. Telling me that some surveyor measured 2 inches of drop in 2 instances is a laughable thing to claim as proof that you live on the ball. I will let you go ahead and do what you do.
All right, excellent. Well, you say a geometric horizon. How do you measure a geometric horizon? You must measure it geometrically, must you not?
We already did.
How did you geometrically measure the geometric horizon?
Upon the assumed size of the globe by the globe believers.
Okay. And how did you geometrically measure that?
With trig.
Okay, trig isn't a measurement device. Did you use a ruler? Did you use a giant girder system? I mean, what was the measurement device to geometrically measure?
To measure the distance to the platform hill house?
The geometric measurement. How did you geometrically measure the distance to the horizon?
Nobody made a measurement to that horizon. We just know that horizon is further than both the platform habitat and the platform hill house.
Patrick, you made a point that it's 1.225 times the observer's height in feet to the geometric horizon. So I'm just asking, how did you measure the geometric horizon geometrically? What physical device did you use to measure that?
I didn't measure a distance to any horizon. I measured distance. You mind if I finish the sentence?
Okay.
Mike?
Okay.
Platform habitat, 9.41 miles. Platform hill house, 6.21 miles. That horizon is further away than either of them. So here's what I know. I know horizon distance to horizon is greater than 9.41 miles. How
Okay.
much greater is irrelevant.
Okay, but I'm asking you though, how did you geometrically? You're talking about optical things here. I'm asking you, but your point is about geometry and geometrically, so like physically measuring things. So how is this physically measured? With like a ruler, a straight edge?
You want to know how? You want? Hey, stop. You want to know how it was? The distance to platform habitat was measured?
No. I want to know how the horizon's distance was measured geometrically. Physically. Physically, not optically, because you're saying the geometric distance must be 1.22.
For the third
but
time.
you're, but Patrick, you're giving me an optical measurement.
Measured. It wasn't measured.
So you don't have any measurements.
I've said it to you now.
Do you want to bring up some measurements then?
What are you talking about? Okay, so
you don't have any measurements, Patrick. You've just admitted you don't have any measurements. You're like, you want measurements, and you're like, you don't have any measurements.
There are two measurements.
Where?
9.41 and 6.21. They're sitting right there in front of you.
Okay, but how was the distance to the horizon measured? Geometrically. So all you're showing me is optical measurements, not geometric measurements, Patrick. You said the horizon must be 1.225 times the observer's height in feet to the geometric horizon. So you must physically measure that distance with some physical device. You can't do it optically if you're doing a geometric measurement. Do you see that?
No, that is specifically not true.
Well, how did you do it optically then? Without controlling for conflating variables?
I didn't do it optically.
Well, you're showing me a picture of it.
It was on a piece of paper. A great circle about a sphere of stated radius.
But I'm asking for the evidence then, Patrick. And you're not giving me evidence. You're just talking about the geometry.
Listen, you agree that the expected drop would be 8 inches per mile squared.
But you're talking distance to the horizon, not drop.
I'm talking about distance to horizon caused by the drop. The physical. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody understands what Mike and I are talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that if you've got a ball and you're standing on it, then the actual curve of the Earth will block the visibility of objects at a certain distance because there's a hump created by the surface of a sphere. Now, doing very simple high school trig, you can prove that given a radius of 3,959 miles, that a physical distance of 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet is the maximum you will be able to see before the curvature of the Earth obstructs your view of objects.
Okay, so what you've done there is that's a straw man.
It is Patrick. A literal geometric.
So Patrick, let me just the topic that you wanted me to explain to you about the Earth, about the globe, right? So I can definitely be the one to tell you how the globe works. You are definitely not the one to tell me how the globe works. If you would be the one to tell me how flat Earth works, and then we could test flat Earth. But no, I will be the one to tell you how the globe works.
Math here,
Patrick, I will tell you how the globe works, and you tell me how flat Earth works. So here's the problem. You have strawmanned that. You have misdescribed the globe. Because what you've done is you've made a gigantic assumption in this here. You have assumed that there is zero refraction. And everybody can look over on the left side there and see that crane on the left side sticking out of platform habitat. You go ahead, everybody. You ask yourself this question. Is there no refraction happening here? Because if there is no refraction happening here, then that crane looks very strange. I don't know how it works. But Patrick, it's incumbent on you, if you're going to be bringing up this observation, for you to bring the confounding variables into control. The confounding variable being
the confounding
refraction.
Variable that you just assume into reality.
No, it's not an assumption. It's on screen, Patrick. Everybody can see that crane is not straight. There's no assumption about refraction happening. It is clear as day. You need to establish the actual effects due to refraction in your observation. Go ahead, Patrick. Tell me how you controlled for conflating variables.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how I controlled for conflating
because you
variables.
Didn't. Because you assumed that there was zero refraction. That's what you did.
Mind? It is breathtaking how rude you are.
You assumed
All right.
the globe model wrong. You strawmanned the globe, Patrick.
No, I
you
didn't.
assumed that on the globe there's no refraction. I'm telling you there's refraction. And the picture you have on your screen for your audience and my audience shows that there is definitely refraction. So if you're going to be honest, you must include a refraction analysis.
I think that this discussion would have been better done with us having like 5-minute time limits, because you're going to interrupt. You're going to talk through every.
All right, you go ahead. Just tell me how you control for refraction.
Don't tell me what to tell you, okay?
Well, then stop strawmanning the globe, Patrick.
I'm not
You absolutely are. I am telling you there's refraction, and everybody can see it. Your audience sees that there's refraction, and then your audience hears you saying there's no refraction because you're not going to control for it, Patrick.
Okay. So
you are dishonest. You are lying about the globe, Patrick. I will tell you about the globe. You tell me about flat Earth. How about that?
Okay. So anyway, when you are shown a picture that demonstrates perfect contradiction, utter contradiction of the geometric reality that 1.225 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet is the maximum distance for any horizon on a sphere.
Assuming no refraction.
Why do you have to do this? I was
because you're lying. Because you're lying, Patrick. I'm just gonna make sure that your audience knows that you're lying because you are assuming no refraction in a photo that definitely has refraction. That's embarrassing for you, Patrick.
I'm gonna try again.
Okay, don't lie this time though. Make sure you say you're assuming zero refraction. Make sure you say that so your audience doesn't think that you're lying this time.
I am trying to get through one sentence.
Yeah, just go ahead. Just make sure you don't lie about it this time.
Okay, because 9.41 miles is farther by a multiple of 5, 6 of what the geometric horizon could be on a sphere of stated radius. You immediately introduce the new variable of refraction, which is a real thing. The air does cause light to bend, to wobble. All sorts of different types of refraction exist. But when you say, I know that it's refraction that causes that horizon to be so much more distant than it should have been on a ball, you're simply begging the question. You're saying, well, I know it has to be refraction because otherwise it wouldn't be a ball, and I already know it's a ball. It's called circular logic, Mike.
All right. So you did not control for refraction. Refraction happens. You agreed that refraction happens, but you are refusing to include analysis of refraction or to find an observation that doesn't have super obvious refraction problems. So is there an observation maybe that you could find where refraction is not happening so severely like in this photograph?
No, you're just conjuring refraction as your excuse for this impossible.
No, you are assuming no refraction, and the globe says there is refraction. So you're strawmanning the globe.
Assuming no refraction.
Oh, then include the analysis of refraction.
Thing that makes horizons appear 10 miles distant.
It's not magical. It's empirically verified.
In your world,
it's empirically verified, Patrick, and it's right on screen. Everybody in your audience sees that the crane on the left side is horribly deformed because of refraction. So you are lying about the globe when you say that the distance can only be 1.225 times the observer's height in feet, because that is assuming no refraction, and it's obvious that there is refraction.
Wow. All right, so everybody's gotten a good look at that photo, and you saw that the horizon is significantly more distant than 10 miles with a camera at a height of 1 foot. And Mike is asking you to believe that friggin' refraction caused the horizon to be brought from 1.225 miles to past 9.41 miles. Sounds to me like refraction does whatever the hell you want it to, Mike.
Sounds to me like you did not do anything to control for that. So here's the problem, Patrick. You don't want to do anything, but I'm sharing a thing right now. I know where you got your number from. You want to show it?
Oh, what? Okay.
You show it? All right, right there. Here it is. This is Andrew Thomas Young. Now, do you know who that is?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
The subject matter expert. Andrew
You
Thomas
have
Young, our
this
favorite
habit
guy.
Of just
Andrew
peppering
Thomas Young,
your opponent
San Diego
with
State
repeated
University
irrelevant questions.
Astronomy Department.
Who cares whether I know who
The
Andrew
subject
Thomas Young is?
matter expert.
Well, because I know where you got this information from. right?
I
right here.
derived
One,
I derived
right there.
8 inches per mile
Well, hey.
squared myself.
But this is 1.23 times the observer height in feet to the
It's
horizon.
just solving
right?
for the other
right
variable.
There. Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that I mean, not many flat earthers can do that level of math, but this is where
shut up.
This is where it came from, Patrick.
Prick.
What? You're not gonna let me show. Prick, Mike. You're not gonna let me show the information that debunks your claim. You don't want to show the truth about the refraction. You are right here. No refraction. You see that, Patrick? It says no refraction, and here's your number: 1.23. He rounded to 3 digits times the observer's height in feet, and then Andrew Thomas Young goes on to say refraction considered simply, which is obviously not what's going on, and he gives some ways to do that. Then he goes variable gradients. He says, oh, look, there's a whole bunch of other things. And then nasty complications. And so we know without a doubt that that bendy crane over on the side comes under this category of nasty complications. So Patrick Gunnels audience members, you may find Andrew Thomas Young's stuff, Distance to the Horizon, right there. Distance to the Horizon, Andrew Thomas Young. You Google that, you can find this is the part. This is where Patrick and his Papa Flurf stopped reading right here, and the refraction considered simply was ignored. Everything past that was ignored. Didn't read the nasty complications part of it, which is what we see. All right, thank you for that.
Okay, so just to repeat, what Andrew Thomas Young does in this is says, without refraction, these would be the rules. And now I'm going to assume refraction based upon a radius of the Earth that we know to be true. It is a simple, circular reasoning.
Well, I mean, I measured the radius of the Earth.
Workers do.
I measured the radius of the Earth, Patrick.
You can't measure the distance to the sun using
the distance.
The method that you described.
The distance to the sun isn't involved in the measurement.
Okay, look. Your tactics.
Patrick, you just lied about how I did the distance to the sun or the radius of the Earth measurement. You just lied about it. The distance to the sun isn't part of that. I mean, I know you, if you think about it, because you clearly do understand the math. You look at the Eratosthenes style. There's no distance to the sun that's included.
Okay.
Right? Think about it, right? So I measured the radius of the Earth 4 different times, each time with multiple people. We got the same number every single time. I went over one of them. I got interrupted while I was talking about it. But I can tell you, the math is fine. The math is fine, Patrick.
Being interrupted.
Yeah. All right. So the radius of the Earth is not assumed. If you say it's assumed, that's a lie, Patrick. Don't lie. Okay? I personally measured it. I got the same number as many other people that have measured it. So it's not assumed.
Mike, this is not a good faith discussion.
No, it's not. You keep lying about the globe. It's terrible faith. You just parrot Oakley over and over and over, and he lied to you, Patrick. You are repeating his lies, Patrick. When you ignore refraction, when you talk black swan, oh, there's no refraction there. Clearly, you were lying about refraction, and your audience saw the picture where you were lying by claiming there's 0 refraction there, Patrick. Do you want your audience to think of you as a liar, or will you be honest and say, oh, that's not a good observation, I should definitely find a different one where there's clearly not so much strong refraction.
So you have shown, made a career out of getting super angry and calling people liars.
It's a hobby, but you have lied. Well, I've documented your lies, Patrick. Your audience saw you lie. So members of Patrick's Rumble audience, be aware. He is lying to you when he talks about the black swan. He is assuming 0 refraction, and you look at that crane on the left side, there is refraction. So don't trust a liar, Patrick Gunnels' audience on Rumble. He is lying to you. Ask him to find an observation where there was not obvious refraction. That would be the thing that a truther would do, which evidence tells me that Patrick Gunnels is not a truther.
Okay.
Glad you accept that.
I don't accept anything. You're a disreputable person.
Why? Because you lied.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that.
You lied. He kicked me out. Flawless victory. He had only parrots of Oakley that he could go to, and he kicked me out. That's it. Rage quit. Thank you, Patrick Gunnels, for rage quitting, and thank you, Patrick Gunnels, for lying to your audience. I'm so glad you live streamed it to your audience, and you left the highly refracted image on screen for so long so that I could shine a spotlight on your lies. All right. Hold on. That's not updating. So let me get that fixed. There we go. All right. Go salty. All right. So I knew, this guy's an Oakley parrot. I knew he was an Oakley parrot. I watched his stuff. But he also disgusting. He is the first actual flurf I've seen that quotes, well, no, maybe not. I've seen a couple others that cites Pratt. That's right. In his 1.5 hour live stream talking about Flat Earth, he actually played videos by Pratt. Daniel Pratt. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Patrick had nothing, right? He did not want me to actually present my stuff. He gave me the topic. The topic being, what is the verifiable evidence that the Earth is a sphere? And he wanted to talk about, he's like, well, that's me. That's my chance to do things. He didn't want to let me do that. He did. And hopefully his audience heard some actual real information. I hope so. So, well, this is a good question, Adam Johnson. I wish you didn't keep interrupting him. Why assume he's lying when he could be mistaken? I know some people like the salt, though. Well, because I pointed out that he was lying, and he kept lying. Right? I said, you're assuming no refraction. And he said, nuh-uh. Right? Well, what was his response? I said, will you include a refraction analysis? He said, no. I said, but Patrick, the crane is obviously refracted. And you are still insisting that there's zero refraction. You are lying, Patrick. So that's why he's not in good faith, right? I'm not assuming he's lying. I exposed that he's lying when I showed him the actual, what actual really was happening, and showed his audience that he was lying, right? So, a great question, Adam. Great question, but he was lying. So, let's see. Eric Burns, if you're around, let's see. We got Ruhiv. How did you get Patrick Gunnels to debate? I've emailed him multiple times. One of his flirflings messaged me on Facebook challenging me, saying that I wouldn't debate him, he thought. So that's how, Ruhiv. All right. Eric Burns, send me an email. And if you're around, I don't know, maybe you've messaged me and you can't. All right, let me read a few things here while we're at it. Pythagoras, does Patrick have new evidence? Of course not. All he can do is parrot. Let's see. If corn oil comes from corn, where does baby oil come from? His angel paste. Okay. Hokage Spoke says, Yo, first super/member chat. Let's go. Thanks for everyone for the gift membership. Keep up the good work too. And thank you for that. Siggy says, looks like a Poe already. Oh, and he's a true believer. He said in his live stream, he would stake his life on flat Earth. Yet he has actually no evidence for flat Earth. He doesn't have any measurements for flat Earth, right? All he has is, I don't understand the globe, and here's how I don't understand it. Therefore, Earth flat, right? Actually, you cannot conclude Earth flat from their claimed black swan. You can only conclude Earth is a sphere with a different radius. That's it. That's the only assumption or a conclusion you can draw from it, because it did not represent flat, right? It didn't show a flatness. It still showed a horizon, which you don't get on flat Earth. Stephen York says, why did the chicken not cross the road? It saw what happened to the zebra. I feel like that's a two-part. All right. Oh, Eric says he can come on. All right, I'll get you a link in a little bit here. We've got Tim Davison says Christopher wrote a book after the accident. Well, dictated it, but it says after the accident, Christopher has never looked back. That's just mean. Christopher Reeves he's talking about, who is a quadriplegic. He couldn't turn his head. You see, I had to back that up for people. Stephen McCullers says, wait, Angel Paste, Miracle Cream is now a lotion? Yeah, guaranteed to make your bigger. Yeah, there's definitely some spam I saw about that. Siggy Sigwald says, grab one while you can, my dears. Hail Sagan. Kyle says, using Flat Earth, please predict any eclipse. Oh yeah, that's another $10,000 challenge. I need to get on that because we got an eclipse coming up. Of course they can't. Navid Pay says, rip Bob. R.I.P. Bob, yep. Yeah, and I kind of had to retire that little one there. Mr. E-Man says, word salad, more word salad, incredulity, misunderstanding, dodge, duck, and evade. Therefore, Flat Earth. I'm still waiting for any Flat Earth evidence. Patrick, where is your evidence? It's Charlie Welch. Passive-aggressive snake paste salesman. Yes. Stringer News 1. My profession used to be trigonometry. So I did press him on this, and he had nothing. He cannot refute this. Right? If he's going to talk geometry, right, on Flat Earth, the sun must be the same elevation, but it's not. It can't be flat. It doesn't work. Right? So I falsified Flat Earth, and I gave him the opportunity to present the other physics. He didn't have any. Of course he didn't have any. He used to do... What did he... Seriously, do you think he could actually do, like... He did. But what was his job that used math? Right? And he's like, I verified the 1.225. I derived it. Sure. Okay. But you got the number from the talking points from Oakley. Right? Yeah, and sometimes I pretend like I don't know Oakley. But I mean, I know who Oakley is.
I'm a moron.
That's the guy. That's Oakley. So, I mean, at least he's honest every once in a while.
I went in and was absolutely humiliated based on my total ignorance of everything I said.
Yes, that, of course you are.
Flat Earthers are really dishonest.
Speak there, Nathan. Yeah, so, I mean, and then, you know, if in case you don't know, you know, Oakley.
I'm ignorant. Literally, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant. I don't know enough about this stuff.
Yeah, then you should just, you know, maybe close up your channel. And then but the best Oakley. This is why, I mean, this is basically Oakley needs a GoFundMe for a yoga class.
Now I'd like to know how my balls taste.
And he can then solve that problem. I guess. So, all right. Steve 6464 says, Patrick, have you been snorting your angel paste? Stevie McCullers says he just got blindsided. Poor guy just didn't know. Like, seriously, Patrick Gunnels, your Papa Flurf is Oakley. You don't get to talk about rude. You don't. You never get to talk about rude. Seriously.
And then I'd like to know how my balls taste.
Yeah, Oakley. Get some stretches in. Doug Edison Carter says Patrick's teleprompter topic changer lost the plot. Yeah, he just like he's like, I want to see 8 inches per mile squared drop. Okay, here it is. Over a half mile. Oh no, it has to be 10 miles. Why does it have to be 10 miles? If it works at 10 miles, it works at half a mile. So here it worked at, oh, that's too small of a number. Is it? Are you actually saying that 2 inches is too small of a measurement? Maybe it's 3 inches. I don't know. Okay. Ziggy Sigwald says for 666 Argentinian reals, is that what it is? Says a GoFundMe to print I Did the Math t-shirts to give away for free at Flurf conventions, assuming they still do these. Hail Sagan. They do. The next one is in October. Put on by Karen B, the most charmingest of all Karens in Flat Earth. Patrick. Siggy Sigwald says we're like 10 minutes away to move from nice MC Toon to salty MC Toon, which is my favorite avatar. I just kept dunking on him. Like he had nothing. He had no idea. And he said in his 1.5 hour live stream on Flat Earth, he said he would debate anyone. So Ruhif, he said he would debate anyone. Mark Pfizer says all his girlfriends tell him 2 inches too small. Oh, Icy Spin says countless. Laughable. The language of the Flurfkin. Phuket Word's brother. Phuket Word's brother is a Glober. You might actually be. Are you actually Phuket Word's brother? You've been on here before. So anyway, it says D Nile is a river in Egypt. I can't believe being Phuket Word's brother, dude. To family occasions must be difficult. Ready? So anyway, Eddie Reese says refraction. They always forget about refraction. They don't forget about it. They intentionally leave it out while intentionally seeking out times of the highest refractive conditions. So anyway, just so you know, near the end there, I'm just going to keep talking and pointing out that he's a liar I'm speaking to his audience until he boots me. Check. I mean, he had no response, and hopefully his audience gets a little bit of that in them. Like, yeah, there was refraction there, and you're pretending there is none. Gotta lie to Flurf. Sid Almond says aggressive tune is the best tune. Aggressive, yeah. I don't want to lose it. I was laughing the whole time. You see me, I'm like when I'm drinking, I'm just chuckling to myself. All right. Patrick, what caused the crane to be so distorted in the Black Swan photo? Asking for a friend. Thank you for that, Sid Almond. Skidmark McGee says that bent crane. Don't worry about that bent crane. It's not important because the earth is flat, because I said. CV McCullers says 8 inches squared. I live in a parabola. I live in an ellipse. So CV McCuller, the 8 inches per mile squared is appropriate when used appropriately, but no flat earther, except for Jaron, has ever used the equation in the right instance. And Jaron still made a mistake. Right. So he's like 8 inches per mile squared. And bonus for him, I'll give him this. 1.22 or 1.23 times the observer's height in feet is the distance to the horizon, is the other side of that formula if you solve for a different variable. He's right on that. I was impressed that he got that. But all of that assumes zero refraction, and they always go for the highest refractive conditions. Connell Silverpurse says, Patty Cakes thinks MC Toon is getting angry. Me thinks he's never actually seen a FDFE in these before. He'd rage quit in about 5 minutes. Yes, he got his butt a little hurt in front of his audience. Mr. E-Man says, rage kick by the liar. Siggy says, go Salty Toon, go. Oh my goodness sake for that. So why did I keep interrupting him? And again with Adam Johnson, because it's a good question. Why did I keep interrupting him? I was doing that on purpose, right? I was towards the end there because it's obvious that he's just doing the Oakley parrots, and I know their script, right? I know Oakley's script, right? It's lie about no refraction, lie about no refraction, lie about no refraction. Whether he's aware of the lie or just repeating the lie, it's a lie about refraction. When I point it out to him, then he knows it's a lie. And then he definitely becomes a liar if he says it again. So to his audience, I'm like, I'm speaking to his audience, right? He didn't have a point to make to me, to you, to his audience. The only thing he could do was lie more, tell more things incorrect about the globe. That's all he could do. So that's why. And I wanted him to get angry and then boot me. So let me see here. I took notes. I took notes while watching his. This is what I do. Let's see. There's that. He will stake his life on "We don't live on a ball." Okay, so he did not say he'd stake his life on "The earth is flat." But you know. The same thing, same flat earther. They're too scared to declare that the earth is flat because they know that they have no evidence for it. There it is. Let me read my notes. Cherry picking, flat non-rotating over and over in the government documents. Next line, he gets angry. Next line, swears. Next line, does he claim to be a Christian? Yep. Next line. 1.22 miles times the observer height in feet. So his, oh yeah. And we didn't get to it. He said, I'm pretty sure I won't be facing him again. So my notes won't be used again. He said that, Cavendish has never been repeated. He said that. Why would he say such a ridiculous thing? Ignorance or parroting. All right. You heard that? And stop recording. Got it. We stopped recording. I'm just grabbing this for Eric. There we go. And there it is. All right, you got it, Eric. I'll turn off this, so we'll just say something when you're in. CB McCullough says he thinks you're angry. He hasn't met Tony. Of course. Repo Sandman says Flurf needs food badly. Oh, don't put him into that epic game. That's funny though. It's Wizard needs food badly. Don Giovanni says, this guy's more bananas than the bread in my oven. It would have finished when he said there's a hard stop. Tim Davidson says, I'll take a bag of Flaming Hot Tunes and some salty Gunnels to go with my beer. Welcome. Okay, hold on. I need to adjust the audio. Nobody's hearing you yet, so... Speaker to OBS, microphone to Zoom. All right, say something again.
All right, hello.
There we go. Everybody can hear you. All right, so no camera.
No camera.
All right. Henzik says he's showing Dearth videos. Of course he is.
Yes, I saw someone.
Oh
someone in the chat said that he was trying to get Dearth into the debate with.
Dearth will never talk to me.
That would be amazing.
I really want somebody who, because Dearth is always going on somebody's shows, right? Mm-hmm. To fool people into downloading and paying for his app. And he does that through a bait and switch. He's like, his Bitcoin challenge that people have sent him messages about and he just ignores. That's his bait and switch. He's like, if you think Earth is a ball, then take my Bitcoin challenge. First, download the app, pay him money, then whatever. It doesn't matter. He won't accept your evidence no matter what anyway.
Yeah, and I love the whole Cavendish has never been repeated except for a lot of intro physics classes that do it every single semester.
You can purchase your own pre-made Cavendish experiment if you don't want to build one yourself.
Yeah.
like BM Furball did or Blue Marble Science. So, Henzik says he blocked me from his channel.
Yeah, when you're like
salty.
he's on Rumble, I'm like, what the hell is Rumble?
Rumble is wish.com for if you get kicked off of YouTube. So back in 2020, you won't be surprised that this guy was claiming all sorts of things didn't exist that people were dying from.
Yep.
Seriously.
As all of them.
Yeah.
So I guess
they're sheep. They're all sheep. They're like, yep, same thing that they said. Same thing.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Siggy Sigwald says, arise now, arise, riders of MC Toon. Dire deeds awake. Dark is it eastward. Let horse be bridled. Horn be sounded. Forth, Globers. Thanks, Siggy. That's great.
I was thinking when he said at like the very beginning that you guys might get into like the heliocentric model. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to start boiling over with rage.
They never have a clue. And they think they know better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why they think is because they've watched a dozen videos talking about that topic by people that don't know the topic. They get so confident in their ignorance.
Yeah. It's crazy how Dunning-Kruger is actually a thing.
It is. So actually, people did in Spain did a study on flat earthers a while ago, 2 months ago maybe, and I have the paper. So I should do a video on it. How real it is. They actually tested people's flat earthers' real abilities in a couple topics, and they really did not do well.
As expected. But
he's currently whining to Dearth on his stream.
Oh,
Dearth! Oh, Dearth, help me, Dearth! Oh, poor Patrick.
But yeah, just thinking with the Dunning-Kruger graph, it's like at the very end, there is that little curve back up once you get to like mastery level.
Yes.
I don't think that is actually true. I think it just continues to go down because it's like as you even get higher and get more degrees, you feel even stupider.
Yeah. So it's there's a name for that. That's imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly, and that is all of grad school.
Yeah, and contrary to what flat earthers think and science deniers think, when you get into higher education, you're not just regurgitating things. You are beat down to a pulp, and shown that everything is really difficult, and you have to come up with your own stuff. And I don't know. So you said did you get a paper published?
It never really got published because just time stuff didn't work out, and then my advisor, like, not throwing him under the bus or anything, but he's been super busy recently, so I never quite got stuff done.
So you haven't been through the rigors of peer review yet?
No, but it was close. But the problem was we needed to get like more models for doing the research, but we never got them because one of the guys that we were trying to get models from is on vacation at the moment, and then the other group that we were trying to get them from never responded. So,
all right, I gotta see. So how many people are on his?
Is over. This video alone destroys it.
Oh my gosh!
What's going on?
Hold on, I gotta get it up.
Download it, re-upload it, put it everywhere, stick it in Glober's faces.
It's Taboo Conspiracy's debunk of flat Earth that they love so much.
The Earth is spinning this way, and the plane is going with.
And they're wrong. They're so wrong about it.
Defeating a criminal who tries to attack you is surprisingly simple.
You
just need to follow the.
All right, hold on a second. I gotta skip this in. All right. What'd you say, Eric?
The stream technically, can I add that to Flurf Bingo? He was just saying.
Oh yeah, that was Dearth. So all right, let's get. I'm gonna get this going here. I want to see what he's.
So I added that to the I can't feel it move.
He's so. I mean, Dearth is so dumb.
I'm one tile away from bingo. I put in the chat. I was like, get him to say water finds its level.
All right, let's see what nonsense they're talking.
Thank you so much for joining and
they're wrapping up,
helping me recover from that. Like
the beatdown you received.
Take a shower and do you have any what's that stuff you light that smokes? It's
incense.
Yeah, some incense or sage. Sage.
Yeah.
You need to sage your room and to get that spirit away. And you know what? I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Okay, there is some evil shit.
Oh, poor Dearth got so salty. You know what's evil is lying. Patrick, Gunnels, and Dearth, what's evil is lying. You guys are just pathetic liars. That's all you do.
I do love how it's like you point out the crane to them, and they like in the Black Swan picture, and they just don't. They just are like, no, who cares? I remember it was like the thing with Harp when you were talking to him, and he said that the platforms they were doing that because they were really hot, and like anyone that's on that platform would be dead if there was that much heat causing that crane to bend that much.
Oh, did he think that the crane was actually bending?
He said that. Oh no, he didn't say the crane was actually bending. He said the refraction was from heat or whatever from the platform itself.
Oh wow!
And it's like people would be dead from that much heat.
Wow. All right. Oh, I think nope. Dearth froze for a second. Let me see what he's talking about.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to sever that relationship if he admits that we've pointed out stuff. And here's the thing: we're not going to claim we have a model or anything.
Of course you don't. That's an instant fail.
The globe doesn't work. We're going to
instant fail if you don't have a model.
Okay. I think we have a pretty good model.
No, you don't.
We don't need a model to show
you do.
That the globe doesn't work.
You do need a model.
No, we don't. Yeah,
you say that
I won't claim a model.
This is Flat Earth Dave. Look at that. Flat Earth Dave. Not we don't have a model Dave.
Now, hang on a second. He said we don't need a model. We think our model is good.
Yeah.
He said so that dumb. In the same sentence.
People say, Dave, you're using the Gleason's map on your app. I've done some tests on the app, and I encourage everyone else to do it. Watch the sun. Watch the sun on the app. And
it doesn't work.
I know somebody that lives right under where the sun's going to go today.
Right under. You see how deceptive. Oh, my gosh. Talk about liar. What about the angle to the sun? I know somebody that lives not where the sun currently is and can tell me the angle to it at the moment. Gleason map never works for that. That's the problem. And he's narrowed it down to under where the sun is because it matches his lie. Good job, Dearth.
Who was it that did the video of like what the orbits would actually have to look like for it to be a flat Earth, like the orbits of the moon and the sun, where it have been like.
Oh yeah, they're like the spirograph look.
Yeah. There's someone who did a video on it, and pretty much. Oh yeah, McKeegan. It was McKeegan who did that, and it was just like, where it's just like, oh my god, it's like, how did they not see this?
Yeah.
Call them when the sun is over where they live and say, where's the sun and what time it is? And they'll say, it's right over my head and it's noon. All right? And it works all over.
No, it doesn't, Dearth. It only works for the subsolar point.
So there's something correct about that.
Say that. Okay, one thing. The subsolar point.
Dave, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you and Owen on Kumia. That's going to be fun.
Everyone spread the...
All right. No word being spread here about something that they're doing. Okay. All right. I'm done with that. With them. Anyway.
I still love that he said, we don't need a model. Our model's good. In the same sentence.
It's terrible. It's useless. It predicts exactly nothing. Other than, I guess, the subsolar point.
Yeah.
But, you know, it sort of fails, right? I don't need a model to disprove flat Earth. I did it right here with just 2 measurements.
Yeah, but I think they get
Just
confused
two
because
measurements.
it's like you use that same measurement for both things or whatever. You use the same like angle measurement, and so they're like, but you did this here or whatever. I think they get it mixed up somehow, but still, it's
Oh,
like
they just can't. They hate the idea that I'm testing flat Earth. Did you hear how many times he's like, so you did this, and then that made you think that the Earth is a sphere? Like, we're not there yet. Did I say it like 3 times?
yeah, it's
Right?
just like it's like he hates that you had to explain it a lot, but it was like it's a long thing to explain. It's a scientific experiment.
Yeah.
So
You want science to be super short and fit into a TikTok video? Sorry, science doesn't do that for you. If your short attention span doesn't work, well, that's on you, not science.
If you have a really short attention span, then here's the Eratosthenes experiment. He used a stick. Done.
Yeah. Well, there's trig in it.
Yes, exactly.
And did you hear? He's like, and you can't use the distance to the sun. I didn't.
Yeah, they didn't know the distance.
And I
to the
kept
sun
pressing
at
him,
that
and he
time.
wouldn't answer because he realized it, right?
You don't use the distance of the sun in that because Eratosthenes didn't know the distance to the sun for that. And it's just you assume it's very far away. Because,
Yeah, that was in the hypothesis. I stated that in the hypothesis.
I was thinking he was going to say, "Oh, because the word assume was in there, that means it's wrong." Which is something with my master's thesis. There's a lot of assumptions I had to make, which sucks. But it's really all I could do with what I was doing.
All right, let me read a couple things here. MB says such dishonesty deserves a full salting. Jimmy Gee says, well done, his forehead was getting a toon shine. Shine in quotes. I love that. That's good. Zummery says, am I the only one that still sees habitat lower? We got a puppy? Oh, here, hold on a second. Oh, here we go. This is Penguin. Hello, Penguin. Right there. Look right there, Penguin. Right there. Yeah. There. She's getting a little shaggy, isn't she? Yeah. All right. There you go. Oh, you're seeing a guest hand. No, it's okay. A guest hand is fine. I'm getting a shy guest hand. There you go. All right. Thank you, Penguin. All right.
Yeah, actually, I just pulled up the picture myself because I pulled up the thing from the guy who did the picture when it was not a super like crazy whatever day.
Yeah.
It was like less refraction versus the one now, and it's like what's saying that the other platform does look lower. It kind of does, even for the Black Swan picture. Like just a little, not much.
I'll have to look at that because the tops of it too. So that's a thing that when you hear the nonsense from not you, Gary.
I'll put it in the chat.
In the oh yeah okay.
Yeah, in the YouTube thing. I just put it in there.
I can put it on screen quick here.
So it's like, oh yeah, well here's that same area, but on a different day, and look at this. It's below the horizon. What does that say?
Yeah, they don't. So which one has refraction?
Exactly.
Which of these two has refraction, flat earthers? The right one? Well, no, it's the left one. On the right side, what's causing that second platform to be obstructed? Is it refraction? Well, I'm sorry. Refraction is happening on the other one. Is it refraction happening on the right side? Really? What makes you think that there's crazy refraction on the right side? Nothing. And this is a great one. So the temperature gradient here that is being simulated. And if you haven't seen this is pretty good to spend some time on here. Bislin goes into a lot of detail all the time. So, and typically gives plenty of math. If you like math, Bislin's your guy. So, so the temperature gradient gives us the refraction, the coefficient of refraction. Of course, that varies as well. And then all these rays get all confused. And you see over there on the right side, these rays, there's like this clumping of rays, and that's the ducting that you'll see talking about. And then, yeah, there's another ducting thing there that you see. And that's why you see multiple horizons. There's actually more than one horizon that you're seeing there. You're seeing a horizon in front of the left one. Let me see. Yeah, the right one, the doesn't really get much obstructed of the horizon, but the left one, the horizon is still obstructing the bottom of its feet. And yet there's another horizon. There's a little boat in the middle that's partially obstructed, so there's a horizon there, and then you got the horizon back. So which of the three horizons are you talking about there, Flat Earthers? There's too many horizons. You're like, this is a good observation. No, it's not.
And my things also with that is like when it comes to boats on the coastline, it's like, why? Like, how is it bottom up obstruction and not just like whatever the like farthest back point is? Like, why is that not the last thing we can see? Like, if there's like an object sticking out or something, then that should be the last thing we should see from it. And I mean, it's just like, it's so annoying for me because like I grew up on the coast, and so many times could see the ferry going back behind the horizon.
All right. Afinks, it's coming. I got a couple super chats I'm behind on, so Afinks is wondering about their super chats. So okay, Zoomeray. So are you the only one that still sees habitat lower? Yes, it does look lower. Icy Spin says you straight up FDFE'd that fool.
Yeah, you were kind of getting angry with them.
I wasn't angry. No, I wasn't angry really. I was getting aggressive on purpose. Near the end, because I'm like, well, this is just Oakley parroting, so he's gonna have to boot me. Interesting though, he's an Oakley parrot, and he had Dearth on. Dearth and Oakley don't get along. He also parrots Witsit a little bit. He had a little Witsitism in his talking about Einstein. He got Einstein wrong. He claimed that Einstein made claims about whether or not the movement of the Earth could be measured incorrectly, which is what Einstein does. I have since then. So I have this book. You may say, wait, this is a different book. Correct. That the meetup I did, I gave away the previous book to one of the people that came. I think it was Cody, right? Did I give it to you, Cody? So I'm like, oh, I better get another one. And if I do another meetup, this book will be given out too. So what the first thing I did in the book though is I went to the same spot and I underlined the same passage there where Einstein is talking about how people have determined the rotation, the movement of the Earth around the sun.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get to a meetup since I think I'll be as far away as you can possibly be in the United States from Minnesota, because I'm going to be down in Miami.
Southern California is a little farther than Minnesota.
Oh, it is?
When are you in Miami?
I'll be moving on Saturday. It'll be a 2-day trip down there.
And where are you now?
Right now I'm east of Dallas.
Okay.
So.
Well, I February I will be on vacation, and I could be persuaded to do a meetup somewhere on vacation. My wife is sometimes like, oh geez, again, but and I said, I've told her you should come on the live stream in the live chat. She's like, no. I'm like, come on, one time. So I'm like, they want to talk to you. They'll be nice. Nah.
Come on when it's just non-flat earthers, when it's a normal people.
Yeah.
Because I love how it's like, oh, it's flat earthers and globers. No, it's flat earthers and normal people.
Yeah. All right. CV McCuller says, I'm good at math, but I can't do it now. Every time.
Yeah, exactly.
The Taylor series for the 8 inches per mile squared. So 8 inches per mile squared is from Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
Not from Taylor series.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and I like how you asked, like, what's the second term? It's like, yeah, because Taylor series is an expansion.
Yeah. So, and he's talking about the actual, like, The drop from horizontal tangent, the trigonometric form, isn't a Taylor series either. I mean, I suppose if you really, I mean, it's sine and cosine, right? But you could.
Yep, it's just SOHCAHTOA. That's a simple thing you learn in like 8th grade.
Well, no,
8th, 9th grade, 10th grade.
I don't know. I don't think a high schooler generally would be able to apply the trigonometry to get the linear drop from horizontal tangent.
Well, maybe not that, but I mean, it's just like if you know that you're for trig stuff. If it is just trig, then I'm thinking from earlier with your experiment thing, where they like you can't get the height from that, and it's like yes, you can.
Oh, yeah. All right. John Hopkins says, well, angel paste doesn't seem to do much for the brain. Maybe try angel paste to help with the trig.
Oh, yeah, I was saying earlier, angel paste made with real snake oil.
Mark Beiser, again, this is good. All his girlfriends tell him 2 inches is too small. All right. David Wellman says, ASCII, stupid question, get stupid ANSI. Do you get that?
No.
So ASCII, ASCII. You know what that is now?
Trying to think. No.
ASCII is how letters are encoded into computers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. It's a 1 byte.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, it was 7 bits. ASCII is 0 through 127, with a 128 through 255 being different based on different encoding systems. Western Europe versus Cyrillic and different ones. That's ASCII. Then it's now Unicode is been replacing it, but then you've got UTF-8, UTF-16, UTF-32, different encoding schemes. Anyway, so ASCII, stupid question, get stupid ANSI, ANSI, and it's another thing, all caps. There you go. Kind of a groaner, unless you're a computer guy.
Yeah, now it's just like my computer knowledge is C++ and Python. That's my knowledge.
That's all you need. That's good
really
stuff. I mean, don't try to write a multi-threaded app in Python. Am I
no.
right? Am I right, Roland?
Definitely, if I'm going to be writing large codes, it's going to be C++, because otherwise I'll be running a code that will last like the entire time I'm in Miami.
If it's in Python?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Python, just so you know, Python, maybe, I mean, they're still talking about it. I don't know. I haven't kept up. But yeah, Python does not do threading natively. So if you have a machine with 8 CPUs and you spin 8 threads up in a Python application, it runs on 1 CPU. And it's all, they call it green threads, where it's faking it within the virtual machine. So we ran into problems with that at work and had to do some workarounds. That's why I write in Java, because it's true multi-threading per CPU. So, all right. Serena's1 says he said 8 inches times a distance in miles squared. That's the area times distance. 8 inches. Yeah, he was a little sloppy in quoting that. Not as bad as some. Okay, Chris says, Toon, can you verify the Karen B is related to or married to Bigfoot? I think she is half Bigfoot. I don't know if it's on her mom or dad's side. I think probably her mom's side. Yeah. So
Murph commented MATLAB. I have touched MATLAB for like a second, but not really. I forgot all of it.
I never have.
That's more engineers.
Yeah, I never did that. No, I never got
more mechanical engineers, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, all right. Chronic Avenger says they always say it cannot be more than that value, but they never explain why. For 1.22 times the observer height in feet to the horizon, and they're right, with 0 refraction, and that's why I keep asking. They say the geometric horizon. Well, the geometric horizon, how do you measure that? You can't measure the geometric horizon optically. You need to measure it geometrically, like measure it physically, build a stick that's perfectly straight from the observer's eye, the person's eye, out to the physical horizon edge at 1.23 times the observer's height in feet. That would be how you would do it geometrically. But if you're doing it optically, then you have to do it differently within the realm of optics to make sure that you're not getting false answers. They want those false answers. Tesla Radio says, Patrick, so butthurt he had to get Dearth to save him. Siggy, we covered that already. Siggy said, great show. MC Toon was like watching someone being murdered with words for like an hour and change. It was a sweet little one. And then Siggy gave 20 more memberships. Definitely know what I'm going to be rendering tomorrow, Siggy. Thank you. Sarah Jones says, so thought he was going to do with a quantum sun when he's like, the sun can't be in different places. At least he agrees there's only one sun. And yeah, I thought he was going to do that. He's trying to get me. He's trying to get me like to like prove to him that the sun can only be in one place at a time. Like, I don't need to do that. That's kindergarten stuff, right? Do I need to prove to you that this pen can only be in one place at a time? No. We are reasonable people. Well, I am. If you need to prove that to you, you're the unreasonable person.
Yeah, the only quantum thing that will be coming soon is quantum computing, which is insane to me.
I have little faith.
I have no idea how that's exactly going to work.
I have little faith in that making significant progress. I keep reading, I keep watching, looking for news on the topic, and they're like, hey, we got 3 qubits, we got 4 qubits. After 17 years, we got 5 qubits.
Oh, it's a little better than how trying to get fusion reactors is going at the moment, where it's like for the first time ever there was positive like energy from that, like actually getting it to be like something that could create power.
Yeah. More energy out.
Yeah, and it's like that's the first time, and it's been researched like for however many years, like 50 years that research has been going on.
All right. Darryl Frost says you can see the curve at LIGO Observatory as they're straight sticks. I don't know if I've seen any photographs of that.
LIGO actually, one thing, like I will always say that as an example for Earth curve, because you have to when they built that, they had to account for the curvature of the Earth with like how precise the lasers have to be.
Yes.
And the arms are 4 kilometers. So
and the laser doesn't just, this is LIGO, it sends lasers down both ends of the track, and they reflect and they come back. And that's the simple explanation, but that's not actually how simple it is. That laser doesn't go down there once and come back once. It goes down there many times. I don't know the number, but it's reflecting back and forth on mirrors many times to increase the sensitivity.
Yeah, and they've been upgrading it over the years, and then finally they got gravitational waves discovered.
Yeah, the precision measurement is less than the width of a proton, and people are like, their debunk of it is, well, that's just too much for me to believe. But that's not. Seriously, there are very smart people working very hard on this, and you, the idiot, is like, I just don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Like,
your opinion is useless.
It's either the numbers is too small or too large for them. Never in the middle.
Professor Phil Bell says we could troll Witsit. He's now trying to school Globers. The grandiose narcissism of Witsit, thinking that he could school Globers when he doesn't understand the globe.
I do love the thing that you were pointing out, where it's like, I think you were saying negative charges would have to go up. Like anything that was negatively charged would have to go up.
Yes.
That's like, because he doesn't understand for electromagnetism, stuff repels, but for gravity, stuff only attracts, nothing repels.
It's the simplest thing in the topic of electromagnetism, right? I have the book right here. There it is. The book is right underneath there. Here's the book, right? This is a difficult book. This book was a pain in the butt in college.
I believe that. I believe you.
Okay. Vector analysis, not about electromagnetism. Right? It's just background math.
Vector analysis is always like first week.
Yep. All right. And now let's see. Chapter 2. So really the first topic that you cover in this entire field is electrostatics. The first topic. On the first page of the first, right here, second page, Coulomb's law, where you cover positive and positive repel, negative, negative repel, positive, negative attract. You cover that day one, really, of electrostatics. And Whitsitt gets that wrong. Right? He gets that wrong. He thinks an electrostatic field would make everything go down. Why? Reasons. Peter Willoughby, I want to see you debate David Weiss. Me too. He won't do it. He won't do it. I'll do it on Jaron's show. I'll debate Weiss on Jaron's show. Right? What happened with Gunnels couldn't happen on Jaron's show. Jaron is a pretty aggressive and a good moderator. Of all the moderators, he's in the
I'm
top.
surprised.
He's definitely top 5, right? Who else is a good moderator?
He's the only one I've seen that's good.
Yeah, Johnny O is good. That's all I can think of at the moment. There you go. I got 2 good moderators that I can think of. So all right, let me catch up here a little more. Eddie Reese says, kept expecting him to bring up the Chicago skyline, of course. And, it's another straw man. Stringer News 1 says 1.22 times the height in feet is your height with the tall hat. Icy Spin says he brought a spork to a gunfight. Poor thing. CV McCullers says Cavendish repeated by Krakatoni daily. Unreal. Seriously, he actually said that. He actually claimed that Cavendish has never been repeated. MC2.net/G, there's a short list of 18. 18 is a short list. Siggy Sigwald says no mention of Titicaca today. Well, we did. I think you might have been not in the stream at the moment, but yes, we had a little Titicaca action. Global for Life says equation. I like this. David Banner equals PhD Tony plus Dumb Flurf equal Hulk. Nice. Bill McGuire says he's currently winding to death on his stream. Chris, can you verify Karen B is related to American Bigfoot? Stephen McCullers says his background is software. I so hoped for that. I should have asked him if he prefers Kerning and Ritchie or Ullman style. See if he has an opinion on that. What's your opinion?
Wait, sorry, for what?
Kerning and Ritchie or Ullman style?
Not sure.
A developer might have a little better idea. And you do C or C++, so curly brackets, right? So if you do an if statement,
yeah. Yes.
And then a curly bracket, is a curly bracket on the end of the line or is it on the next line?
I always do end of the line.
Bastard. Dirty bastard. That's Kerning and Ritchie.
I was taught end of the line, not next line.
Almond style is next line. ALLMAN, not almond. Like
it looks nicer when it's all on the same line, I say.
Yeah. The reason why I like it is because then you can see visually that you're not making a mistake in opening and closing brackets. And then also it's visually when you are, and you don't need that when you is modern IDEs because they compile on the fly to make sure you're not dropping stuff off. There's still a problem like if you do a single line. So if you do an if statement and then that next, if you just have one line, you don't need curly brackets. I always use curly brackets, but you don't need it. So you can do it and not put curly brackets there, and then still put a curly bracket after that, and it'll mess things up, but your ID will catch it.
Yeah, I think one reason why for me, with the large codes, I definitely should use C++ is because in my brain, all I can think about is doing the brute force method of just for loop in for loop in for loop.
Oh my gosh, that's dirty.
I mean, it works. It works. It does the job.
And what's the big O analysis for that?
Say that again.
The big O analysis for that. Did you not do your big O analysis for that?
I haven't used C++ in a while.
Big O is not C++. Big O is is a software engineering concept of the complexity of the algorithm.
Yeah, software engineering stuff I don't know anything really about. So,
all right.
I know, and I know that soon I'm gonna have to learn Fortran. So
what?
Yep, astronomers use Fortran.
Holy cow!
Astronomers just don't change. They don't change.
They seriously? Oh, I got my Fortran book up on the shelf here.
It's like I know that there's do loops and stuff like that, which is like I know this. I've used pseudocode for it and kind of transferred it over to Python and gotten it to work. But I like my Python. It is so easy.
Oh, yeah. Python's great. All right. I'm up to Afix now. Are you ready, Afix? Afix says, "What was there any follow up on the Santos stuff? Last I saw, you told chat to all send him one of your 150 plus photos to claim the prize. That got him quite triggered, and he did a whole bunch of community posts where he said a whole bunch of things that were contrary to what YouTube thinks that people should be saying." And I suspect that a whole bunch of people reported to YouTube that, but he has basically not done much on YouTube for a while. I don't know why. Is he in a meth lab cooking up something and he's just too busy? Is he off in a barnyard doing what he may or may not do with cows and pigs? I don't know. But he hasn't done much stuff lately, so I haven't done much stuff lately. We know he's never going to pay, right? Second law of Flurf is all Flurf challenges are fake. So no Flurf will ever honor a Flurf challenge. He's not going to do it anyway either. So that's where it's at for now. If he comes back and he starts making some noise, well, he'll get some heat. So, but right now, you know who's getting heat? Mark Sargent.
I'd say that after Mark Sargent, you got to go back to that just like the picture of Earth thing, and that was so great.
For Sargent?
No, not Sargent. For Santos, go back to him and for all of his stuff. I see that Phil Bell is defending Fortran, saying that it's great for math.
Yeah, it is. It is. I have used in Java some of the larger the libraries that you can do whatever precision math. It's tough in Java. It's really tough. Python does it better. I don't know about, does Fortran give you arbitrary precision? Can you do that, or can you just only be like, well, the CPU is 64-bit, that's all I can do?
That's something I'll be learning probably in the next year or two.
Professor Phil Bell, can you do arbitrary precision? I don't. Fortran, I enjoyed Fortran. It's definitely like an older feel language. It does functions. It doesn't do objects. Maybe there's object-oriented Fortran now. That'd be cool.
Yeah. My dad was saying he knows all the way back with BASIC and all of that early stuff with my stepmom used the old punch cards and everything.
Sargent's email address, I think, is msargent23@comcast.net, but he puts it in his channel about thing. So
I bet you that he's going to get a new email now.
Oh, jeez. Well, you just wait. Somebody else will be mentioning Sargent soon. Just going to say that. Enzik says, yes, Java does have issues with double. They do have Big Decimal that solves those issues. Yeah, so Big Decimal is their library that can do larger precision stuff. It's man, some of it's a little rough. Like it's not just, one, variable times variable. If they're I haven't done it for years, but you have to be like math, I forgot. Big Decimal dot multiply and then put two values in it, two objects in it, and then it'll do that. So you can't do simple math when you're doing that. It makes it all that much more difficult. So
just trying to code in large math in general and in coding programs is hard.
Yeah, it is. And to actually implement it, that's a bit more complicated too. Imagine doing like arbitrary precision and writing the code in C.
Yeah.
Write the code in C that does any precision, right? I want 500 digits of precision and I'm going to do a square root.
Oh my God.
Right? Well, there's ways to do it. Now you've got to go implement it, but you want it to be fast, so you get out your big O notation.
Yeah,
it's you don't know what I'm talking about.
Python does have a function where you can round to a certain amount of digits, but I highly doubt it can go that far.
Oh, Hanzik says he does it on a daily basis with Java. Oh. Now, writing email software, we don't have to do a lot of big numbers.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, everything I do, I use long a lot. Long is the 64-bit. We use that for time. Everything is time-based. Everything is just milliseconds since 1970. Everything that we store in the database is milliseconds. We don't ever do anything in a native database datetime format. We don't. Everything has to be. It's ambiguous. You ever move between database systems? Oh, I had to do some stuff in between DB2 and Microsoft SQL Server and had to rectify their different data structures for date, and time. All right, off of that topic here. Melodic Lyrics says, if anything is evil, Dearth, it's Dearth giving him that video, literally setting him up for failure. Yeah, that's the taboo conspiracy where he doesn't understand star elevation. So I'm working on one with somebody. Hopefully we can get some stuff. He's doing the analysis for me. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully we can get something interesting on that to really destroy taboo conspiracy. So he will delete the video again, like he did for the Crete video. So the Sun Express says, we really need to press the flurfs to explain how it's possible for the 2 upcoming solar eclipses over South Texas will draw a giant X on any model. Do we have? Oh, we've got a big old orange. Hold on. Oh my gosh. There you go. There you go. Big orange loaf of bread. There it is. And look at that. He's so formal with the tie.
God. Why the tie?
Why the tie? Why not the tie? Both of our cats have ties.
I've never put a tie on my cat.
Yeah,
so
well, all right. You want to see a tie on another cat? Just wait. Let's see. All right, we've got Mr. JP Caruth. Obviously, you missed the earlier part of the stream where MC Toon demonstrated that geometry does not work on flat Earth. And what did this goofball say? Looking for there's just spherical geometry that doesn't work on either model. Well, I've never seen a flat earther do spherical geometry there, Mr. JP Caruth. I rarely see them do any geometry.
I would say not ever do any geometry.
I've seen, well, I mean, Patrick had a little. All right. This is a tie. Look at that tie. Look at that tie. Look at that right there.
Fish tie.
It's, yeah. Oh, it's lobster. It's a lobster.
Oh, lobster. It looks
yeah,
like fish.
She's a smaller kitty. She's so much less meowy. So, all right.
Oh, my cat meows like crazy, especially when she's hungry, which is why when I was on your show before, I was surprised she was not meowing at me. She was only jumping up.
So, all right, this is a good one. Peter Willoughby says Java needs a container. True. You must put it into a jar. And anybody that knows Java is chuckling, and everybody else is saying, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Let's see. String News 1 says vague language like under the sun is the bread and butter of charlatans. Yes. And think about that. Samuel Robotham sold snake oil. Whatever it was, right? We call it snake oil. He had some health potion. You'll never die. It works miracles. You definitely need this because it's going to make you so much healthier. Patrick Gunnels sells the same stuff. Now, I haven't heard the claims that he makes about what it does. But he's doing the same thing. It's a miracle lotion. Well, he's got a little bit of a high claim there. So, CV McCullers says, Patrick Gunnels looks like every teacher I had that was wrong. Turing Test 2 says Patrick was a total coward. 1,500 fans in there, and he still has to mute criticism. Of course, you need to have an echo chamber if you're wrong about stuff.
Yeah, I've been reading through this. There's a couple of flat earthers in here, and it's just like, we don't ban them here.
Yeah, you're welcome here to spread your derp so that we can laugh at you, flat earthers.
Yeah, I saw one of them like, I don't want to be a part of the cult of scientism or whatever.
Mr. JP Caruth says they don't answer, they just insult. Flat earthers don't do geometry. You're right. They don't do geometry, though. Show me the geometry. Show me. Here's your challenge. Prove me wrong, Mr. JP Caruth. Here are my personal measurements for the angle to the sun. Here is the hypothesized flat Earth. I was 7,619 kilometers away from the GP of the sun at the Tropic of Capricorn on December 21st of 2019. I measured an angle to the sun of 22.5 degrees, giving an elevation of the sun of 3,163 miles. What's wrong with this geometry, right? This number I measured, this number is known to be the case because all of the length of the meter is based on the distance from the North Pole to the equator through Paris, France, on that line of longitude. The meter is based on that distance. This distance is known. The length between latitude lines is known. Our measurement system is literally based on it. Length measurement system. This right here. What's wrong with that? Show me the math, Mr. You can do geometry. Same day in Israel, 30 some degrees north latitude. He measured 32.6 degrees angle to the sun, and he's 6,099 miles away from the Tropic of Capricorn, giving us the height of the sun of 4,468. So here's the geometry that I did, and the geometry that you won't touch for the height of the sun over flat Earth. This falsifies flat Earth right here, because the sun can't be simultaneously 4,468 kilometers high and 3,163 kilometers high. There's the geometry. I can insult you all day long if you won't address that. You are not smart enough to address that. You won't address it. But feel free to prove me wrong. Send me an email and point out the error in the geometry. My email address is mctoon@mctoon.net. I'll kick Eric Burns out of here so that you can prove me wrong. You won't do it. Instead, you will prove me right.
Yeah, get Dimok in here. I see him in chat.
Oh,
I see.
Dimok, he needs a special set aside time.
Yeah, you need a special Tuesday for that one.
Yes, he needs that. So hold on, I got.
Oh yeah, and actually for the definition of a meter, definition of a meter has actually officially been changed to be with the speed of light in a vacuum.
Yes, so that's the other thing. Like these are two things that flat earthers can't handle. Right? Because they like to claim that the speed of light in a vacuum cannot be known possibly. Like, well, we do.
Yeah, we know it, and now that's how we define a meter. So
yeah,
there's that. There's the kilogram is now also defined using the gravitational constant. Trying to think, are there any others that have been changed?
Well, yeah, they redid the entire SI unit system a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago. They wrapped it up.
Yeah,
there's 5. Is it 5 base SI units? I think. Or 6?
Yeah, I think a meter was the final one that was changed. The final one that was officially changed.
Yeah, I mean, none of this compares to sheep units, but
yeah, no,
it's so much more rigorous. But all right, here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, second, so time, length meter, mass kilogram, electric current is ampere, thermodynamic temperature, Kelvin, amount of a substance is mole, and luminous intensity is candela. There you go.
I always forget that candela is an actual unit name.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, like, let's see, hyperfine transition frequency of cesium is what they use for seconds, and then speed of light is actually, so they defined the speed of light because the second is actually, so meter is derived then, but you measure it based on the speed, right? Well, that's all it is. All right, I'm sorry, I'm swapping things around.
Yeah, so the meter is now defined as the length of the path traveled by light in a vacuum during a time interval of 1 over 2.99 times 10 to the 8th meters, or 10 to the 8th of a second.
Yeah, something that is really cool, but can flat earthers will just say nuh-uh to that. So, all right, let me see. Did I get an email from the flat earther that doesn't want me to mock flat earthers for not being able to do geometry? I have not. Seems that you can't do geometry, Mr. JP Caruth. Wait, are you literally like mentally handicapped here? Astronaut, thanks for at least trying to answer, but that answer just gore you debunked on. Cool. Gore you. Look, all right, Judy, Patrick Butler's a Poe. Don't get taken in by the Poe. I'm not kidding. I talk to him. We talk about Poeing. He talks to me about Poeing. Like, oh, maybe I'm gonna Poe this way. I'm gonna Poe this way. He's kind of funny. He's an okay guy. We talk. He used to actually be a flat earther. Now he just jokes around.
Who's the better Poe, him or Industrial Nerds?
Oh, Patrick Butler was way better. Industrial Nerds Poeing activities was subpar. It didn't last. So, yeah. Patrick Butler says destroying MC Tuna's debate is old news. Get a grip, people. All right. PG Tony, or no, Tim Davidson said, I thought refraction was sitting around thinking of all the mistakes I've made. That's not refraction. Tim. Well, anyway, yes, Tim, go refract on the things you've done. Reflect. PhD Tony says, a hint for all flat earthers: if you don't understand refraction and optics, maybe avoid arguments that rely on an understanding of refraction and optics. No, they don't. They just say that none of those things happen.
Yeah, it's just once the word refraction comes into play, they're just like, they just lose it. Because they're like, it's like you'll say, but this is refraction that you're not accounting for. And then when you show something that accounts for refraction, they're like, you haven't accounted for refraction. It's like,
oh,
it's just...
I was small screen. Oh, even for the pets, I was small screen. I wasn't even looking at it. Thanks, Peter Willoughby.
Oh yeah, you were small screen, I guess, for a while there.
I was. Oh darn! I have, my OBS was covered up by another window, so it wasn't even a tab. Yanish Takas says, "Fun fact about Perl: zipping the source code does not make it less readable." That's true. At work, there's a room where stuff has accumulated over the years, and I was tasked with emptying a section of that room. And so over the last couple of weeks, we've been working on it. On Monday, I went in to review with the state and saw in this room of throwaway stuff a book on Perl. So I grabbed the book on Perl and I brought it to deliver it to a guy that likes Perl. So I had done a project with him for fun, a fun project, like a game. We hacked the crap out of a game, an online game. Their API was open. None of it was encrypted. We totally disassembled the whole thing by packet sniffing. And then we wrote our own Perl. He wrote most the beginning parts of it. That's why it stayed in Perl. But it was actually object-oriented Perl. I'm like, all right, you got to do this. He's a system administrator, so that's why I use Perl. But I was teaching him how to do object-oriented Perl and how to like have good stuff and, variable names. It was weird. Variable names in Perl. It wasn't just underscore $sign.
I'm trying to understand
$underscore.
Trying to understand what Dimok just said. Draw a rectangle around a ball. Tell me what elevation the corner points are at, please.
What elevation the corner points are at? Well, that'd be a little bit of trigonometry, Dimok. You can't do that. You're a flat earther. Just like Mr. JP, whatever, that can't do geometry.
And apparently Witset's stream got taken down, as what someone said earlier.
Really? For what? What was it? Well,
yeah, Cygnus said it.
He can't stay on topic either, right? But so he's over in Rockfin. Probably they like to do it over in Rockfin because Rockfin is the vertical video site that caters to flat earthers. So. Nerd Alert says, "I have a feeling that Patrick will soon know whether angel paste is a good butt hurt remedy." Oh, Fact Based says, "Hint for Flurfs, go back to kindergarten." Yes, Flurfs. Here is an object. This object can only be in one place at a time. It can't be here and here at the same time. So if you look at it from over there, and you have an angle to it, and somebody looks at it from over there, and they have an angle to it between some other objects, and you do the measurements of that, it can still only be in one place. That was taught in kindergarten. At least that's something that I think maybe most kindergartners know going into kindergarten. Right? It's object permanence. Right? When do children learn object permanence? Like 1.5 years old, 1 year old, less than one? I don't know. Somewhere in that range. Perkin Kester says, "Finally I get to watch the show live. The sun is stubbornly never over me when it happens. Greetings from Warsaw, Poland." Well, thank you, Perkin Kester. All the way from Warsaw, Poland. There you go. And I did mention earlier that Java needs to be in a jar, but Java can also be in a war. You know what I'm talking about? Or an ear. CV McCullers says PG Tony is the best mod. Is he? I don't know. I don't know if I've seen Tony mod. Maybe he's a great mod. Siggy says, "Is like 580 of us here. Please don't forget the like button to like the video and subscribe." Hail Sagan. Yes. I would definitely like it if you weren't subscribed already to subscribe. I appreciate that, Siggy. Greg Edmonds says, "We need a micrometer that will measure the Flurf's degree of paranoid personality disorder." I don't think you need a micrometer to measure that. You need a shipping scale, like the kind of scale that could measure the mass of a ship. Jimmy Gee says he's peddling his angel sauce now. So I wonder what he claims about it. That'd be funny. David Wellman says one more. Programmer walks into a bar, holds up 2 fingers, and says, 3 beers, please.
Oh my God.
Do you get that?
Yeah, I get that one.
It's binary.
Yep. God.
But actually, this would be, if you're going to start here, this would be 2. Or this would be 2. Right? I usually start here. So
yeah, I'll start with one.
Sorry, 3. 1, 2, 3. I won't do 4 because you're going to screenshot it.
Just cover it up with your other.
5, 6, 7.
No, 5 is still one you'll screenshot.
I know. I did it quick. 8. You see, that's the wrong finger, though. That's the wrong 8. Anyway, then we're like, okay, well, we got the shocker has a number. The shock. All right. Oh man. My randomly epic says that. Thanks for doing these streams. Every time life gets me down, I can think at least I'm not a flat earther. Thank you for that, at randomly epic. I appreciate that. And yes, I mean, yeah, when life gets you down. If I knew the lyrics to the Life of Brian song, hold on. Should I look it up?
There's a big storm coming this way. Looks like hopefully it'll cool down here because it was 105 today.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, and it's supposed to cool down tonight with the rain and then go right back up to 105 tomorrow.
And that's why Texas...
It is an oven.
All right. Always look on the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. At least you're not a flurf. There you go.
That's pretty good.
All right. Patrick Butler says, I'm watching, Mike. Of course you are, Patrick.
I see also says 105 because Earth is flat.
105?
Because I said 105 degrees, and then for some reason he says 105 because Earth is flat. I don't know why.
All right, see, all right. Who don't block Mr. J.P. Carruth. Remember, this is a shrine to his stupidity. He said, all of you believe refraction allows you to see over the physical curve of the Earth for every observation that should not be possible on your model. No. It should be possible on our model. Our model includes refraction. You say it doesn't include refraction. That's a straw man. Right? Our model includes refraction, and it's based on empirical measurements. Okay, here's your card, dummy. If you wonder where those empirical measurements are, I have done you the favor of collecting them together on my website. I will give you one guess as to the URL where you will find the list of empirical measurements of refraction. It is mc2.net/refraction. I have a bunch of empirical measurements of the effects of refraction. So it's not guessing. It's not making stuff up. It's not doing things that are convenient. But let me just ask for you. Mr. J.P. Carruth or whatever. Tell me right here. Why? On flat Earth, why? Is it refraction? Is it just words with zero empirical measurements? Yes. It is just desperate words. That's all you have. So, Mr. J.P. Carruth, it is projection when you say should not be possible on your model, because this is not possible on your model, and you don't have any actual explanation for it. How can we empirically test this? My email address is mctoon@mctoon.net. You can bring how this can be empirically tested. You could bring the model that predicts this, right? In a model, you say, well, if something is so far away and these are the conditions, what will the observation be? I can tell you for the globe what this will be. And this is what is predicted on the globe. And I can tell you that for highly refractive conditions, this is the prediction for the globe. And we know it's a highly refractive condition because of the bendy crane the lying flurfs don't want you to look at. And they even go and they crop it so that you get that.
Seen anyone
they
do that.
Crop the left side so that you don't see the bendy crane. Hey,
I haven't seen that, but I don't go into their discords because I don't even want that on
this is on
my Discord.
on Facebook. They do it.
Really?
I mean, yeah. They crop that because it hurts them. This is what you see in the normal case.
Just
right?
like
and
the
this is,
11 frames or whatever.
Yeah, and this is what you see from higher elevation, where refraction is reduced. But they go to 1 foot high, intentionally relying on highly refractive conditions, and then demand that refraction doesn't happen there. It's a lie. This is reality. This is what we see when there is low refraction. Your model is destroyed. You need to provide the mechanism for that. You need to explain with your model, I've already destroyed it. You don't have an answer. I'm waiting for the email. You've not sent me the email to come in and explain to me the geometry. You can't do the geometry. I completely have license to mock you for not being able to do geometry. Because you can't do geometry. Prove me wrong. mctoon@mctoon.net. All right. Patrick Butler says, try not to count on your flurf fingers. Tim Pryor says, it can't be here or there or a plane or a train or anywhere.
Now that it started raining, my friends in my group chat were like, after it's been like a month since it started raining, and the second it started raining, everyone was going crazy in this. I don't know if you can hear the thunder out of my room.
I don't. So Daryl Frost says refraction makes curve look more curved. Generally, no. It does not make flat look curved. So in the most normal case of refraction, at low elevation, if you have a consistent coefficient of refraction or a consistent lapse rate, so it's just evenly changing temperature with increasing elevation, not quickly, but slowly, then you get this, it bends the light down, and when the light bends down, it actually makes the globe appear slightly bigger or less curvy. So that's what happens. mc2.net/refraction. You can go there. There's a bunch of stuff, or you can look up Andrew Thomas Young's website at San Diego State University. He has a lot of good things on there. And specifically, there is a vertical temperature gradient that causes the light. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of smarts to figure this out. Light bends with a certain radius. The Earth has a certain radius. If light bends at the same radius as the Earth and it's consistent, which doesn't happen, right? The light bending is going to not remain consistent indefinitely. But if it were to, then there's no distance that you could not see. And that's what we're seeing with the black swan. We're not just seeing where light is bending the same as the radius of the Earth. It's bending more aggressively than the radius of the Earth. And that's why you get these weird conditions, but it's only in these different bands and layers where these temperature gradient sections are sitting above the water. So how much variance in the refraction index to match Earth radius? All right, and I was getting to that. So this is from Andrew Thomas Young. He cites a bunch of papers on it. So the mathematical answer to that There's mathematical, and then there's observations. So the observations are mc2.net/refraction, where they measured the vertical temperature gradient to give the coefficient of refraction, and then measured the effects of it. So what is the actual temperature gradient necessary to curve light at the same radius as the radius of the Earth? The answer is actually kind of simple. It is 1 degree for 10 meters vertical. So if it drops 1 degree Celsius, of course, 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature vertically for 10 meters will cause light to bend. And if you have a consistent area of that sweeping across the whole area, then the light will bend with the same radius as the radius of the Earth. Now, the radius of the Earth is not small, so it's not a sharp curve. So it's not difficult to do. You don't have to bend it much. It's 1 degree of curve in 69 miles or 111 kilometers. So that's not much curve. Certainly our eyes can't see 1 degree over 1 mile. We're not going to see 1 degree over that many miles going away from you like that. It's really difficult to see. So not much. Yeah. So I got this from Industrial Nerd. This is a NIST certified thermometer. And I went to a lake in Minnesota, and in the spring, I think it was in March, and I measured the vertical temperature gradient from the ice, and then every half meter up to as high as I could do it, so about 2 meters up, and it had a 1 degree in that first meter. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. You only need 1 degree for 10 meters, and I got it in 1 meter. And when the 2 times that I've seen flat earthers measure vertical temperature gradient, they only do typically 2 temperature measurements, not 3 or 4, as would be better. Both were when the fake Dr. John D were there. One was the Lake Balaton. Experiments 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7 have 2 measurements, one at the water, one above the water. On both sides of the lake, they screwed themselves. It has more than 1 degree for 10 meters. There's enough refraction there to significantly bend light more than the radius of the Earth. That's why you can see so far. That's why they always do it over water at night, because that condition almost always happens.
Yeah, the guy yesterday was saying, like, it's best to do it at night on water. It's like, no.
That's why they do lasers.
Yeah.
Because over 10 miles, that laser is a giant cone, right? And they're like, well, they're treating it as if it's a pencil thin, right? And if they can see it, well, then that pencil got to their eye. No, that it's giant by the time it gets to them.
Yeah, in the astronomy lab class here, we actually do a lab that actually shows you how the inverse square law actually works and how that cone sort of happens. It's like it's not with a laser, but with like a flashlight, where that you just make it to where like a little square of it can be seen, and as you get further back, like you have a piece of grid paper, and more squares are shown as you get further back, and it's just like that's the inverse square law right there.
Amazing.
It's like that's how the cone works with a laser.
Yeah. So they do that, but now some have, and Dan the Waterman has tried to use an actual laser where you're actually hitting a target with it, and then that's better. That's better, but you still need to address refraction. So get significantly above the surface of the Earth, right? Jaron did a pretty good attempt. He was 17 feet up. So he was over a road, so he's only a couple feet above the road. He was 17 feet above water, right? There was a drainage ditch next to the road. So better. Directly over the road, in an evening, you would expect a certain range of a temperature gradient, and when you put that in, you actually get the observation that he does match the Earth, the globe. So Downfrost says light travels slower in dense air and fastest in a vacuum. Refraction is a function of air density, not temperature. You're right, but air density is a function of temperature.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, Daryl.
Anything with temperature
Daryl's
changes.
Sometimes Daryl's spot on, and sometimes he's like, misses a little bit. So
it seems like that's a lot with some of them, where it's just like there's.
Well, he's not a flirt. He's not a flirt.
Oh, okay. It seems like sometimes though with flat earthers, it's just like they're so close to understanding it, but they get something wrong, and they just will not say they're wrong on that point.
Yeah. All right, I've got this one from Small Time Art. Says, if it doesn't shock her, give her the spocker. Oh, should I do it? All right. You got the teaser, the pleaser. The third one I forgot. You got the shocker. You got the spocker. And the showstopper. There you go, people. So, Dare Frost says, so on the top of Everest, is the air density a function of temperature? No, it's also gravity based is part of it. There's multiple things. Come on, Daryl. So, in the lower... I'm just repeating. I'm just telling you the things that I've learned. I've come to understand. I've done some tests myself. I've gone over some of the math. I'm not just like just repeating things. So I don't mean to say that, but go to I think it's on. I've read a lot, but I think it's on Andrew Thomas Young's website at San Diego State University, where he says, and I've seen it elsewhere too, in the bottom 1 to 10 kilometers of the Earth's atmosphere, the primary, not only primary driver of refraction is temperature. Above that level, which is a variable level because of weather conditions, it's the primary driver of refraction is pressure. So when flat earthers are like, how can you know how much refraction will cause the sun to appear later when it sets, right? So we see the sun, it sets, but actually because of refraction, it's a few 30 seconds, a minute behind. I don't remember exactly. And Witzit's like, well, how can you know? You don't know weather conditions, tomorrow. Like, it's not weather, it's pressure. And the pressure is rather consistent. That's how airplanes get their elevations from, right? It varies. Certainly it varies. And so when a plane is going to come into land, they need, sometimes they'll call ahead to get the pressure locally so that they can set their altimeter so that it all matches up. Right. This Small Time Art says, best $2 I've spent today. Aaron Reese says, no building shrines to Flurf stupidity. They fill up faster than a hoarder's single-wide trailer. Oh my gosh. Patrick Butler says, I think we should set up a debate for refraction. Okay, who is refraction going to debate? And Tim Pryor says, no, prove me wrong. Perfect. And then Aaron Reese says, watching this much flat earth is like huffing gas. It may feel good at the time, but will give you permanent brain damage.
Here, how about refraction debates a vacuum chamber?
Oh, there you go. All right, I got a few comments on that one. On the shocker and the rocker. So, yeah, we need the volume of gravity. Oh my gosh. Out of context. Out of context comment from Professor Phil Bell. PhD Tony, I have some large steel ball bearings, and a strobe. I just need to build a ramp. Make up your own story. All right. Eric, all right, you're moving this weekend.
Yes.
From Texas to Miami area?
Yep.
And what school are you going to be going to there?
FIU.
Florida
International
University. All right.
Yes.
I was in I did some stuff in the University of Miami
Okay.
a while ago. Let's see. I'm 13. 19 years ago, I did. No, I don't. That was the last time and the first time that I went to Key West. Went down there. My boss is like, "Hey, bring your wife." Yeah, bring her. And then so I had some stuff on Thursday, Friday, and then something on Monday or Tuesday. And he's like, "You should drive down to Key West." I'm like, "Yeah, but I got the hotel room here." He's like, "Don't matter, just go to Key West." So we drove down to Key West, got another hotel room. So it was weird. For 1 or 2 nights, I had 2 hotel rooms. Company paid for it. And Key West was kind of cool. The beaches suck. The beach suck. And we missed. Yeah, we were there just for 1 night. We missed the sunset. You're supposed to go on the one side. We're on the wrong side for the sunset. Too late. Couldn't get there in time. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go visit Key West while I'm there.
And when you're there, see if you can find Cuba. You should be able.
Cuba.
If the Earth is flat, you should totally be able to see Cuba.
You got to see how much refraction there is that day that I'm there.
Yeah. Let's see. Professor Phil Bell says an experiment to show Rachel that acceleration toward the ground is real. No, that's not the story I wanted to make up. People are supposed to make up a different story about you, and that out of context comment I said. All right, here we go. Daryl Frost. Refraction is a function of the speed of light through a medium in air that is the density of the air, not the temperature of the air. Yes, but Daryl Frost, the temperature affects the pressure. It's the ideal gas law, Daryl. Right, it's not a fixed container, right? But it's one of the other. It's one of the other. I don't know the other gas law that controls the density of air as a function of temperature. Right, ideal gas law has all of them, but I mean you're not going to get far claiming that temperature doesn't change density of air. Seriously,
I like what Chris Hoffman said. FIU sounds a bit rude. No, that would be if University of Florida went by Florida University.
Yeah, and then if they had the Charleston campus.
Oh my god.
All right, PhD Tony says is it Boyle's law? So I was a electrical engineer, so I mean I did the physics, but I mean after physics we it was more Ohm's law and other stuff like that. I mean the raw physics, the basics physics that everybody takes is what I'm talking. So Boyle's law, there it is. Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. No, that's not it. Charles' law, volume and temperature. No. Guy-Lussac's law, pressure temperature. There it is. The Guy-Lussac's law states that the pressure exerted by a given mass at a constant volume of an ideal gas on the sides of a container is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. There you go. The Guy-Lussac's law. And I'll link it for you. So go ahead, Daryl Frost. All right, read up on that. If you want to talk about it again, we'll talk about it again. So there you go. All right. Well, did you see the? I think you did. I think you even commented on it on the Mark Sargent's video.
Yeah, I think. Which thing was it that yeah, I have seen it. I forgot what I commented on it.
I had way too much fun doing that one.
I know you. There was a pin of shame on someone.
Does it have it yet?
Was it that video or was it?
No, this doesn't have the pin of shame yet. The pin of shame on the previous one, the Apollo scans.
That's what it was.
That one. That guy, he's like, prove to me that I'll give it to you. You can look at it. prove to me that the Earth moves around the sun, right? And all he's going off of Witzit's. I can just hear what he's thinking. He's going off of Witzit's misunderstanding of Einstein, right? It's up to almost 200 responses there in the pin of shame. Prove to me that the Earth moves around the sun. So I gave the whole thing. The whole thing. And I asked you about it, Eric. So you know, I asked Professor Parks about it, accumulating together the different measurements of it historically. Like, I like to get the first one. So how do we know about aberration? Who was it? It was oh my goodness, I forgot. Help a guy out here.
Now I'm blanking as well on everything.
James Bradley.
Yeah.
James Bradley, 1727 was when he published his aberration paper. 1727. Right? And then annual Doppler shift. That one was harder to find. Those were the ones that Einstein talked about in his book, right? And this one makes more sense that it was harder to find because it was done in German, and easier for Einstein because it was done in German. It's a 300-page book that they wrote, Vogel and Schneier, in 1892. So this was after now redshift had been measured, but not annual redshift changes because of Earth's orbit around the sun. This was after
the most recent Mark Sargent thing. I had mentioned how there was someone. It was in one of the streams where someone essentially said, if there was any chance of any error ever, then that means it must be wrong.
Oh yeah. And of course they don't apply the same standard to themselves, and that's the third law of FLIRF, that they're a pseudoscientist when evaluating FLIRF evidence, and a science denier when evaluating globe evidence.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's when it comes to astronomy. It sounds like there's large errors in it where it's like millions of years, like plus or minus like a few million years or something like that. And it's like, it sounds giant, but it's like when you look at how big the actual number is, that's a reasonable error.
Yeah. Anyway, so I posted basically the Earth around the sun page right there. And the guy's response, don't bore me. He's like, you won't do it. You're a liar. You don't have the evidence. You don't have the measurements. I posted the contents of that page with the links that he could go get. And he goes, don't bore me.
There was someone who was talking about about that, and I posted like, this is what gravity is, and they're like, you're a liar, this blah blah blah. I'm just like, no, this is literally 101.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're in that. I always love when someone gets the pin of shame, you said.
Yep. That's what I had said on that one.
So
that's the only thing I'd commented on that. I just was reading through that, and it's like, oh my god.
This guy, poor guy. And his name is just 4887322. That's all
I hate that they have like the handle thing now rather than just the regular name.
Well, why can't the handle just be the regular name?
Exactly.
That's what it should be, like, unless there's a conflict.
Instead, it's like if you don't do anything, it's your email at first, and then.
Well, you don't want to leak PII, so you wouldn't want it to be your email. PII is personally identifying information.
Yes, Frank, I do get to talk for as long as I want.
So Frank Burns always wants to come on and talk to me, but Frank has a super idea. All right, people, listen to this. He floated this idea to me, and I'm like, you tell me what you think of this idea. But he's revised it since. I think it's even better. His first idea was he's going to come on. He's going to do a meme review. He's going to talk about memes, flat Earth memes, and whatever. I'm like, oh, that's good. We could do that. have an after show or something like that, you can come on, you do a bunch of stuff. He's in Australia, so the time works out for him. But then he comes up, I think this is a genius idea. He goes, no, not a meme review, a Mikey Smith review.
Oh my God.
See? Would you love that?
That would be great.
Frank, you got it. You got a genius idea. I love it. Just little clips of Mikey Smith, and we'll just enjoy a chuckle.
I think a meme review would be good because that would be pretty much an extension on the short video you had where it was like they don't realize that they're the butt of every joke of the thing they're posting.
I mean, we don't bring you on to debate because you might win. We don't bring you on to debate because there might be a debate that breaks out. There's never a debate. Right? What happened tonight? It was a guy that was told wrong information about the globe, repeating that wrong information about the globe, and then I gave him the FE, the free education, and he rejected it.
Here's Dimmock saying afraid of me. So
I'm afraid of you, Dimmock? Oh, no, I'm not. Dimmock, you're the bestest. You are the king. You are the king of all the Flurfkin. You, Dimmock, you want to come on? You can come on and I will dedicate a show just to you. You can come in and you can rant and rage and do all sorts of nonsense. Or, I'm just spitballing here, we could actually have a civil conversation about stuff. I don't know. It's unlikely. But
civil conversation is not going to happen.
You need to demonstrate elevation on a ball. Seriously. Elevation change. You want to? I'll give you a diagram right here. Give you a diagram. And you want a physical? I just give you a physical. But
elevation on a ball, just lift something in the air. There you go.
It's not hard, right? So, all right. I'll give you a cross section of a ball or a sphere. Right here you go. Right there. Big old frowny face. Frowny face for Dimmock. Right. And then here we've got. Now this is going to be a little confusing to you. Here's we've got this line. This line is tangent to the curve there, right? This would be Euclid Book 3, Proposition 18, right? And then we've got right at that point, again, Euclid Book 3, Proposition 18. This is tangent to that point, perpendicular to this line, and the curve is perpendicular to this line at that point. Okay, and then that line there at the tangent point is 0 elevation. And then this up here, on this same line here, we increase the distance from the tangent line up, away from, it's not up, it's whatever, right, direction along this line. And that, let's say that's 10 meters. Now, I'm guessing you're not going to know what meters are. So meters is a unit of length that big people use. And so there's an elevation of 10 meters on a ball. So there you go. How's that? That wasn't hard. Now, the question is, are you willing to accept that FE, that free education? But mostly I've found that flat earthers are uninterested. You're unwilling students. So, wow, man of blood said. Wow. All right. Well, Eric, I wish you well in your move.
Yep. I am nervous about everything, but it should be fine.
If you after you get settled, if you'd like to do another thing for the podcast, I'm going to do a season 2 of the podcast starting sometime in September. So, and I'll ask right now, PhD Tony, I've asked him before, PhD Tony, Professor Phil Bell, Clive Wells, Parks has been on already, but you can come on again, and you, Eric. So,
yeah,
I'd love to do another
good
episode.
Just hopefully I won't be too busy because I was busy all the time here, and then with FIU, I'll be taking 3 classes per semester instead of 2.
Oh,
so
all right. Well,
3 classes plus teaching and all that is gonna suck.
Maybe, you know what? If you're teaching, just give us one of your lectures.
That's true.
That's all I need. That would be fantastic. Right? And
it might just be labs that I'll be doing. I don't know, but we'll have to figure it out.
It can even have prerequisites.
The prerequisites would be calculus or co-requisite of calculus.
There you go. Well, that's fine. All right. Well, Judy, Patrick Butler's a Poe. Seriously. All right. I'm gonna wrap this up here. Let me tell you a little story, Eric. We've had this room that's been we call it the depreciation room. And different people. You tell me if you have this at work. It's the you've had. Oh, I'm getting something right here. I'm distracting myself. Give me a second. There it is. Okay. It's the room where you've got something, and for computers, it's a piece of computer hardware that you're like, well, this has been in the server in the rack for 3 years. We don't need it anymore. We'll pull it out, but it's still good. So we'll put it in this room, and so that we can. Because it's still good. And when you could have used it or given it away to somebody who's like, hey, that's not too bad. It's 3 years old, but I'll take it. But instead, you leave it in the room for 12 years. And now you pay somebody to take it away. That's the depreciation room. So the depreciation room has been cleared out partially. I was the one tasked with doing it because there was nobody assigned to be doing that. So my boss is like, hey, you want to do it? Let's go. So we got a recycler to come. We got a big old dumpster to come. We got some movers to come. And we didn't even get half of it done today. So they're coming back tomorrow. So tomorrow I got a bunch of more stuff. So
it's just been filling up and just no one's touched it at all in years.
Well, I mean, people, they go through every once in a while. They're like, well, that I could use it. Well, but I don't know. Might somebody care if I take that? Yes, you can take it. Go right ahead. We got old switches. We got some, oh my gosh, I tried to put this Cisco switch up on a cart by myself. I'm like, you want to get that other side? So, yeah, we got some of it out. So, yeah, and it sits there. And then eventually it gets to the point where people are like, oh, yeah, I don't need that. That was that guy's personal computer that hasn't worked here for 4 years. And it's already been scavenged, so there's no video card. The hard drive was already pulled, and there's no RAM.
I've already upgraded I've already upgraded my PC enough, and I've kept the old stuff. I'm almost at the point where I could rebuild my old setup with the stuff that I've taken out, and just essentially have a Frankenstein computer of all the parts that have been taken out and reassembled.
Yep. Yeah, and Tesla Radio says home lab time. Absolutely, for people that want to do a home lab, we've got racks. You want a rack? Come get it. And I was talking today with another one of my other coworkers. We're like, yeah, this, we're like, I want to build my own computer. I want to get this power supply. I want to get this graphics card and get this. But I'm like, you know what I really want? I want to buy a computer and then park it and not have to deal with it ever, because I got other things to do than mess with the computer again. I've done my messing with computers.
The thing I have with just regular build computers that you just buy at the store is that it seems like those don't last ever. They last a couple years and then they're just dead. But if you build one yourself, it'll last forever.
Well, yeah, and it depends what you're getting, right? So I just bought a Mac Mini, and it replaced my 5 or 6 year old Mac Mini that was an i7, an Intel i7. It was getting a bit old. This one's an M2 Mac Mini, so I should be able to get 5 years out of it.
Yeah, the only honestly, the only thing left that I have to upgrade is the cooling system on it at this point, and then that still have the regular, the original tower. So, but I've gotten new CPU and motherboard recently. I have 32 gigs of RAM in this thing, just because that's how much the motherboard can take.
Yeah, 32 gig that's the minimum.
Is it
you can't do less than 32. My computer at work that I've retired 13 years ago, when the year I was born, also the year that we got the computer, had 64 gigs. It was a Mac Pro Tower.
I think some of my friends all have like 16 instead of.
Really? Oh, slumming it.
Let me check then. Is it 32 or is it 64?
How do people live in only 16 gigs of RAM? Man. All right. So let me get the. All right. So Dimac. I mean, he thinks he has, he's a Poe, but he goes, one elevation based on horizontal to kill the ball elevation non-existent. Dude, try English. Just this random word generation just doesn't. Yeah, and Real Cygnus, he's embracing his inner Dimmock. He says slanted water pressure gradient rectangle elevation sextant ball verticals, dummy. Yeah, take that. So, all right, let me read a couple more. Patrick Butler said, MC Toon, what you said won't work for the D-Man. Yep, we know. We know. Small Time Art says, now I become Flurf, destroyer of logic. And Steven McCuller says, too still hoping for Tony and Randy Felt to collab. Whatever that is. All right. Anyway, Eric, thank you for coming in. Thank you to everybody that was that joined in, and thank you to Patrick Gunnels for showing that Flurfs don't have evidence for their belief system. It's just a belief system, and that Flurfs do not understand the globe, and when given an opportunity to learn to understand the globe, reject the opportunity to learn and understand the globe. Thank you for that. It is what I do here. I shine a spotlight on the dishonesty and lies that is Flat Earth.